Playing in traffic tonight with the fellas, and we're going to talk about SEMA. SEMA is a big topic these days. We got 33 days before SEMA, and we need to know who's going and who's not. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Good.
Did you get your credentials yet?
No, I didn't. Actually,
Okay.
I just filled out my paperwork.
You're late.
Yeah, I did it like maybe 2 weeks ago.
No, my body guy got his last week.
Yeah.
And I keep opening up my mailbox every day going, come on.
Come on, baby.
Nothing in there but bills and the occasional check.
Well, at least you're getting a check. Mine's all bills.
I got a boatload of them today.
I was talking to a buddy about that. We was talking about SEMA, and he said that he had heard that they really cracked down on how to get credentials.
It's always been hard.
Well, he was alluding to the fact that it was even harder now. So I don't know.
Maybe if you're brand new, but
yeah.
No.
I mean,
listen.
like years ago, I opened up to go to SEMA. You got to open up an account thing with them. You know, you got to have a login and a password, and they make you jump through a couple of hoops. I had to send them invoices of companies I buy parts from. I had to send them a copy of the business license and the sales tax, a copy of the business card, and I had to send them a photo of the shop.
Oh.
They wanted to see the outside of the shop. So I was like, well, that's fine with me. That's no problem.
Yeah.
And I sent all that in, and now, I get emails from SEMA I've been getting emails like once or twice a week now, pushing the show. Who's going to be there? What can you do? The whole 9 yards. And every year they send you an email says registration's open, and I just click the link and log in, and my name comes up automatically, and I just have to go through the list to make sure the address is right, the contact number is right, and then I go to the next page where I add Barb, and then they make you pay. They take your credit card, and then they send you an email says you're registered, and we'll be sending out credentials, end of September, beginning of October.
So I do media every year, and
see, that's different.
Oh man, they be roughing me up.
There's a lot of you guys out there cheating.
Yeah, you've always said you had problems, Lewis. What is it that they just like forget who you are every year, right?
Yeah, it's like as soon as you log in, it's like you're starting over every year. And I send them my
it could
website.
be because your media, media changes constantly. So maybe that's something they said. Well, we're just not going to save these guys in a database.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, they sure don't.
Do you get? Does the SEMA magazine come to you?
Yeah. Yep.
That's weird.
Especially after the great magazine purge of like 4 or 5 years ago, where all those publications went out and everybody was getting new jobs. That was, it's when Evan moved around again.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. It's an ever-changing institution.
Well, I don't like it.
Last week, I just got it. It's about that thick. It's the show special. It's got all the stuff that's going on in the show. Yeah, all the vendor lists and maps and the whole. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You can get them at the show. They got stacks of them at the show, but I get, they send it in the mail, and then I go through it, and I earmark where I got to go or where I want to go. And then there's an app.
I was going to say that. The app's pretty good.
The app is awesome because you could punch in all the different places you want to go, and it'll set up a roadmap for you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
And they have awesome Wi-Fi at the convention center. I mean, it is strong. Never have a dropout when you're in the convention center. And you just bring up the app, and then you just click, and you walk right over to Boss Hog, and then when you get there, you just click that you were there, and then it tells you where to go to the next one, and you just zoom in and out. You save so much time.
Yep, you really do.
Right. But
they got that new building.
I like to look. I like to walk around and look at everything, so you never know.
They got the new building opening up too. That's going to be pretty exciting.
I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be real good.
Yeah, me and Jack are setting up a lot of interviews, so I'll be interviewing every day at 3:00. with different celebrities and builders at his booth. So it's gonna be pretty good.
Cool.
Speaking of Jack, did anything happen with Jack Thomas,
Who's that?
the guy from
The guy-
R1? Yeah, I
the
got
guy,
that
the guy I was
look.
supposed to get a hold of.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, got that answer. All right, so I gotta see if I can get him for Sunday. Then I was hoping to get him on here first and then just carry him over. But
Man, listen, let me tell you my week. Sunday I did my video for the bus, the busting out. So I got that up. Took me all day. So Saturday I was drilling all the rivets or drilling the screws in the floor, putting the plates in. So I woke up Sunday night, my hand started hurting, my wrist. So, I went to bed. I couldn't sleep all night. Woke up early in the morning. I had to call off work, man. My hand was swollen up. All inside my wrist was...
Like carpal tunnel from pushing that drill.
Yeah. So I went to...
Squeezing the trigger?
Yeah, so on my way to urgent care, my truck breaks down. So luckily... It didn't break down, but it started making this clunking noise, like something was loose under it. So I didn't want to keep driving. So I pulled over, and luckily one of my coworkers was coming up the street. So me and my wife jump in the bus. We go to urgent care. I catch the bus back to Walmart, get my prescription, catch the bus back home, call the tow truck. They go get my truck. And so I'm calling around to get it. It's still under warranty. So I call all the dealerships, and everybody's booked until next week. So I'm like, oh, man, what am I going to do? So one of my buddies like, come get my car. So I'm driving one of my buddy's cars because my daughter's car broke down. I told you last week her car broke down in the driveway with the ball joint. So her car's going to shop this week, too. Everybody's backed up. All the shops. They are backed up. It's crazy.
yeah, probably 'cause they can't get parts to fix the cars.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: why didn't you throw a ball joint in that car after work one day?
Because you just can't do the ball joint. You have to do the
Control
whole control arm.
Okay.
And you got to jack half the motor up too.
Why can't you just pop the ball joint out?
No, because they make them as an assembly now. That's common. What kind of car is that, Lewis?
a Mazda X or CX-5.
Oh, right, the Mazda. Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem.
That's all-wheel drive, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually done them in the driveway where I don't prefer to, but it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done.
So
how do you get that Preston Ball Joint out?
It comes.
It comes out. The ball joint
comes with the
E-frame.
Yeah, comes with it, but couldn't find the part, so I had to order it online. No dealers had it, no auto parts stores had it, and they couldn't get it.
Wow.
Oh.
So I found it at what's that? Car ID.
Car ID.
Oh, Carrot. Yeah.
Carrot. Yeah, right. They had it, so it's on the way. So there's. I almost started driving the bus around.
Yeah, right.
Store. Yeah, so that was my week, and my arm still hurts.
Now, who is Car ID? I get emails from them like every other day, and they got some really good stuff on there. And they send me stuff specific to that.
Yep. Yeah, because somebody sold them when you look up stuff on the internet, they sold your information to that company, and that's how they know. No.
I found them.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah. I found them looking for parts and stuff when I was doing some kind of parts search, and it came up, and I clicked on it, and it took me to their site, and then I put in a name, an email, and a password, and the whole deal for like a little online account with them, and then it asked what kind of car was I looking for parts for, and I put in 70 Firebird, and so now I get emails every couple of days, specific stuff, brake rotors, calipers, steering components, all kinds of things. And I'm like, damn, that's pretty awesome. But who is that?
Yeah, I don't know who they are.
I don't know, but I bought a couple things off them. I bought my radiator for the Cadillac.
Okay.
Because I found it other places, but they seem to have a pretty good deal. I mean,
I just went through that with.
Who they are.
I just went through it with my FJ when I did the brakes. I needed rear calipers, and I went to Rock. Didn't have them. I've never seen Rock say they didn't have something as simple as a caliper. And then there's carparts.com, which is the old JC Whitney. I get mail from them all the time. So I went on their site and I checked somebody else too who didn't have them. And then I went to Car Parts and they had them for like $34. Great. Send them. And I bought hoses. And then on the back end, okay, they didn't say it at the time, which I should have known better. There was a core charge, which doesn't bother me. The thing that bothered me was it came time to send them back. I said, hey, can you send me a return label? Oh, we can send you a label, but you got to pay the shipping. I'm like, what? It said that nowhere on the site. And they said, well, you can take it and ship it, or we can send you a label that's got prepaid shipping and take that amount off of your return. And we do have a deal. Actually, they had a fairly good deal, so I took it, but it pissed me off.
Yeah.
All you had to do was go to the post office and get an AB box, and it would have been up to 70 pounds for like $7.
Right. Well, that's the thing. I have the I have their what do they call those? You called it an AB box. They call it something else. It's
it's priority. They have priority shipping, but under priority, there's an AB box.
Oh, it's something different. Okay.
Yeah, and you can do those. That's real cheap, but the shipping, it takes forever.
Oh,
it's very slow. But like I said, you can do your priority for, I think, a medium-sized box up to 70 pounds is like $13.
Well, starting tomorrow, it's all going to get slow. I don't know if you saw the news.
Yeah. Well, it's all going to get slower, and the price is going to go up again. So
why? Why would the post office that can't get a fucking thing done anyway slow down even worse than they are?
Because people aren't mailing letters.
If people aren't mailing letters, then they should become more efficient due to less volume.
They should do that quicker, right?
That's not the American way, John.
Well, through the union, they can't downsize. So anyway, I was pissed at that, and now I found out like I want to do axles too, and of course they got the axles for a good price for a pair of them. And I said, God damn, I'm going to find out if there's a core charge. If they want, usually they don't want the axles back, but my luck, they would.
Now, or what could you do with an old axle?
They rebuild them.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah.
Or you just call, a buddy.
What do they do if the bearing edge is beat to hell?
I mean, there's a point where it's not rebuildable if it's beat to shit. But otherwise, if it's just a matter of CVs, they can they take the old ones off, put new ones on.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of real axles.
No, CV axles. Yeah.
Okay. Or if you know a buddy and you call him and tell him the address, he sends you a UPS label.
Okay. All right.
Because business shipping is a little cheaper.
Ah, right.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know anybody like that, but there's ways around to skin the cat.
I have to remember that.
Right.
Speaking of rivets, by the way, before I forget, I just was watching a video from I think it's one of the tool review sites I watch, and they were doing the Milwaukee rivet guns. Let me tell you, Lewis, you got to get one. There's the 1/8-inch gun, and then there's the one that does up to 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
The 1/8-inch gun will do up to 3/16 rivets, and it's battery powered to do rivets.
Yeah. Ours is a wicked. I mean, ours is awesome. The only problem is it's so freaking expensive.
Is it the big one, like the Milwaukee, the bigger one?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
dude, it's a monster.
The small gun, which is what any of us would use for regular stuff. The stuff John does and Luce, what you're gonna do is like $200 for the bare tool. The big one is $800.
Yeah.
So, but those are big hot. This rivet you rivet and steel together. They're big.
Yeah, I just bought the rivets. They just came in the other day. I went and picked them up, and I
have an air powered one.
That's what I was thinking about getting off Brian, is the air powered one.
Well, this battery powered one is pretty sweet.
Battery's awesome.
It takes the regular Milwaukee battery. And
see, I'm a DeWalt guy. I'm not going to buy a Milwaukee.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh my God, how much would a DeWalt one cost? That could be crazy.
I don't know, but we have a battery powered one, and man, I had that thing for a week, I guess. It was we had gotten one in the group and we were demoing it, to walk around. Man, that thing was unbelievable. But everybody just choked on the price, dude. It was just.
Is it up around 800?
Yeah, a little more.
That's what they were saying. This one was too. So it was 4 times the price. But again, he said very clearly, because this small gun is going to cover most of the applications you got to do. He says if you need that big gun, he goes, the small gun isn't going to do it. You have to get the big one.
Yeah.
And if you have the big one, you're probably not going to use it for the small stuff because it's bigger and heavier. So he said that's more for production line work and stuff that has 1,000 rivets.
Well, I'm probably going to do 1,000.
Well, big
do 1,000.
If you're doing smaller rivets, you can use that smaller gun and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
See, I'm using
large rivets.
I'm using quarter inch rivets.
Oh, those are big. Okay. All right. So
I didn't realize how big they were until they came. They're pretty big.
Yeah.
Did you get the ones with the big flange head on them?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a lot of rivets. I got to do just around the top because I got to take all those rivets out and put the sheet metal up under it. I'm bet you it's easy 1,000 rivets on just the top.
You should do squish rivets.
What are those?
Aircraft stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta have one guy on the outside,
on the inside, yeah,
and then another guy on the inside with the bucking bar, and it's like.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
They were showing with these rivets from the back side, instead of mushrooming on the back side, it splits into 4 wings.
Yeah.
That's nice.
They use those. That's like the rivets that the built car companies use when they put the regulators for your windows into your door. If you look inside those things, it's got a big head with a big anvil, and it's split in like 3 or 4 pieces.
Right.
Yeah, man, that and door handles.
If you don't have a power unit, those things will break your hand riveter.
Yeah.
They're unreal, crazy stuff, and they're a pain to drill out. The anvil it's a steel anvil, and oh my god.
You need step drill bits.
Yeah, I fought getting the regulators out of the doors on this car. It was like, come on. It was a lot of work.
Yeah. So, Brian, I was going to say, I was thinking about ordering the one off you now.
Okay, I'll put an order in. I mean, I'll get it all going.
John, did you ever get your torque wrench?
No, I haven't touched any tools because I haven't done anything with motors yet. I got time still. So,
Louis, what happened with your hand? What they say? What was the prognosis?
They said it was what do you call it?
Old age.
Yeah, that's part of it. I forget what they named it, but they said what's the name of it? They gave me a steroid pack.
Arthritis.
So they said it was Venosha or Fetosha, or I don't know. I was just happy she gave me something. I tried to get a shot. I was like, hey, why don't you shoot something in there? It's hurting.
Yeah. I'm going in 2 weeks. I got to go to my same guy that did my knee. He puts an injection in my left ankle because I was in a really bad car accident when I was like 17. Front end head-on collision, and the whole suspension came off on the driver's side and pushed the floor up.
Ooh!
Oh wow!
And I had a Chevy Vega.
That was the Vega, yeah.
That was the Vega. I had my hands on the wheel and my foot on the brake and the other foot on the floorboard, pushing as hard as I could because I knew that there was no way I was not getting hit head on.
Yeah.
It was one of them deals. It was raining. It was horrible. A guy next to me skids, and his big Buick pushes my car over the double yellow line.
Oh,
and
wow.
There's another car coming up right at me with nowhere to go.
Right.
Bam! Totaled out that Vega. But the wheel and the front suspension buckled the floor up where my ankle was and smashed my ankle, broken in 6 places. So there's nothing they could do. They set you, they put you in a cast, and then a couple weeks later you're in a walking cast. And
so you got a permanent pimp, huh? Pimp walk.
Well, yeah, I'm totally pimped. So they told me, they said, when you get older, you're gonna get arthritis in there. So it started hurting a couple of years ago. If I'm like up walking around all day long, it'll swell up and it kind of hurts. And sometimes, most of the time, it heals up overnight. But there are times when I wake up and I like hobble, like I can't walk until finally the ankle starts moving, and
Right.
it like breaks in and loosens up, and then I'm good for the whole day.
Knocks the rust
So
off.
yeah, it knocks the rust off, right? So
Crazy, ain't it?
starting about 2 years ago, it really started bothering me on days when I'm heavily like climbing ladders and doing I'm on my feet all day long. So I went and I told the doc, and he took an X-ray. He goes, "Yeah, I see the damage. No problem." He goes, "You need a steroid." So he shoots you, and it's good for like a little over a year. And then last year, I got it like literally a couple weeks before we went to the 2019 SEMA. And last year was a wash, and I didn't have any problem because we didn't go anywhere. But it's been hurting me the last couple of weeks, and SEMA's coming up. So I'm like, 2018, I didn't get it in 2018. And literally after the first day of walking the hot rod hall, it swelled up to the point where I couldn't move it. Me and Barb had to wind up having dinner in the room. I was in that much pain. I mean, I'm popping like Tylenols, like chiclets, and I ain't doing anything. And she's like, "You need to figure out what's up with that." So now I get the shot. So I'm
gonna call my doctor.
Yeah,
because it's still hurting. If I move it the funny way, man, it sends a pain up my arm to my neck.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
So,
and
yeah,
it's,
I
got it.
It's soft to touch too.
After I started working on cars again, I get a pain right
That's
in
me.
here.
Right here.
It's like a tendon kind of thing,
That's
right?
exactly what I got.
And sometimes it gets to the point where your thumb don't really want to move, and you got pain, and like I squeeze it, and sometimes it kind of pops.
Oh.
And then it's good.
Does it lock up? Mine locks up.
It doesn't lock up, but it gets real stiff, and it's right here and right here. And I totally attribute it to the fact that I'm messing with steel and doing this crap again that I wasn't doing for 20 years. I didn't have any pain. Once I started working on the cars, it started coming back working on Rocco's car.
Yeah.
And now I get it like almost every day, but I work through it, and it's not a big deal. There's days I don't feel it at all, and then there's days where it actually kind of hurts.
Same thing. I started getting it when I started working at the shop, and I use all sorts of topical stuff on it. And one thing I have works pretty good. It's like a horse cream made for horses, but I use other stuff.
It works.
Yeah, and like you said, I usually just work through it, and if I'm working, I don't feel it. It's when I stop and I'm sitting at home, I'm like, damn, that hurts.
You know, and it's it's not a muscle deal.
No, without a doubt.
And it's not a joint. It's a tendon thing.
It's yeah. Well, if it's arthritis, it's in the joint. And they told me that it's arthritis, but
I don't know.
It is what it is. And it's all because I'm right-handed and I got it in my left hand.
I got it in both.
Yeah, I just have it on the one side. So
getting old sucks.
Don't it?
Beats the alternative.
Yeah.
So that's how that goes.
Papa Squirrel, you want in?
Woohoo!
There he is.
There's the man.
Hey.
So, Papa Squirrel, since you're the elder of the group, tell us what we have to look forward to.
Yeah, right.
Well, let's see. You've got that pain, which you've already identified. Getting out of a chair once in a while, you might have to have a little assistance, depending. The back hurts like an MF.
Yeah.
And I just got a thing from my doctor. They finally x-rayed my back, and I've got arthritis in the lower back, arthritis higher up in the neck. Sometimes act up. Wow. Now I'm having a little trouble. Well, let's just say I don't always make it to the bathroom on time.
Yeah.
That's
and wetting yourself is not any fun. So I now officially am part of the diaper crowd.
They're pull-ups, damn it.
My wife said,
Hi, Debbie.
Well, notice how all the guys on the precipice, no one's giving you crap over it because no one's even making a peep. So,
No, we know it's coming.
yeah.
Because we all know it's coming.
hey, the aches and pains, man. Debbie's grandfather told me about 15 years ago when I first met Debbie. No, it's 20.
Not longer than that.
Longer than that.
Anyway, go on.
Anyway, he said, you know, boy, getting old ain't for sissies.
What? No, it's just damn sure.
Hey, listen. When I was getting my shots in my back and radio frequency shots, it's called radio frequency. They fuse your nerves in your back. So I'm in there getting these shots, right? And I'm crying, I'm whining, and the little old lady next to me is laughing at me. I'm like, what are you laughing at? It's killing me. She goes, oh, you sissy, I'm getting them too. I'm tearing up, man. I was hurting, boy.
That's weird that they use radio waves because that's what they did with the tumor in my brain.
Yeah. They
laid me out on a table, and this machine, it's actually, you know what it is? It's a robotic arm. It's the exact same arm. The doctor told me it's the exact same robotic arm that BMW uses on the assembly line.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's got this head on it, and it shoots high frequency radio waves at your brain, and it moves all around. It's so strange. It's called CyberKnife.
Yeah. Oh, right. So, yeah, they do that right. They do that over here. Yeah.
Yeah. So what they do is the first thing they do is they lay you out, and they have this mask that's made out of this nylon mesh.
I see that. Yes.
And the girl, and so you lay down, and your head is in this form that they have that has some studs that stick up, and you're just laying there. She takes this like horseshoe with this grid, plastic grid, white plastic grid, and she puts it into a container of like super hot water, which makes it like rubbery flexible, shakes it off. You're laying there. She puts that thing over your head and pushes it down and turns the wing nuts, and then she molds it to your face.
Wow.
Your head and your face.
So it's good to be not claustrophobic when they're doing that, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't do it all day.
You know, I just closed my eyes, and they put this grid thing over you, right? So then they send you into it's not an MRI machine. What's the other one?
CT?
CAT scan.
Yeah.
CT, right. So they send you into that, and you see all these like kind of like laser lights or something scanning. It scans this thing. So based on the fact that this thing they put over your head starts out as a graph, everything is a perfect square. But then when they stretch it over your head, those squares change shape and turn into what do you call it? Parallelograms.
They become oblique. Yeah.
Right. It becomes oblique. So this thing scans that, and then it makes a 3-dimensional scan of your head. Then they take that mask off you. You're done. They send it to a lab, and a guy that is a laser programmer uses that in a form and the scan that they get from it, and they map out where to shoot these waves into your head. And what it is it's high frequency radio waves. They go in one side, they go out the other side, laser straight, but he programs it so that as it moves around your head and shoots the wave through you, each shot crosses the one before, and where they cross, that energy burns the tumor. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it'll go in this way, then it goes in that way, and everywhere that it meets, it creates that radio heat that burns the tumor and kills it. So I had to go 4 times. You lay on the table for 45 minutes, and this thing moves all around your head for 45 minutes, and it's dead silent. You don't hear anything. You just hear the motor going, you know. And like one day, they put headphones on you, and I'm just listening to like music. I opened my eyes, and that thing was right here.
Oh no!
And I could see the aperture moving. And I'm like, it was like a scene from a sci-fi movie.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I'm just gonna close my eyes here.
Yeah, good idea.
It was very weird to see this, going on. But I have pictures of it. I have them somewhere. I have to send it to you. It's this big, beautiful white arm, and it's on this big, heavy base, and it just whizzes and goes all around you. And the guy says, yeah, it's the exact same arm that they use on the BMW assembly line for part of putting the motor together or something like that. And
so that explains a lot.
Really cool.
That explains a lot because I got a report at that time you came down and you were in the studio. It was like right after you left, the antenna shot off the tower, and they didn't know why. Now we know. They had to go retrieve it.
Yep. So that was awesome. Burned up the tumor. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Cool. I don't have to have my head opened up.
Nice.
Sweet. Hey, I've noticed there's a lot of people in the chat room on Facebook, but it's not showing up here in our chat room.
Oh.
Like some are and some aren't. I don't know what's going on.
Got to monitor Facebook.
I noticed that a couple of weeks ago where it depends on what link you're on.
I see Facebook posts.
Do you?
But then if you're on the wrong one, it disappears. It goes off into the ether.
Yeah, like looking here and Justin, some of his posts came up. I'm seeing a bunch of stuff
from Justin. I'm seeing stuff from Jason Reynolds. Yeah.
How do you
they all have the Facebook logo, and then there's
I see what you're saying.
Robert Heckler.
He's all of the stuff's not coming up though. Like Jason
Robert's coming in from YouTube.
Yeah, Justin has a couple things up, but it's not here on the screen. But it's on.
Did you piss Facebook off, Lewis?
Did I do what?
Did you piss Facebook off?
I don't know.
Oh, they know John's here.
They might.
I'm looking at
I've got a whole new fan base here now because I've turned a few more people on to him, and they love him. Like that guy is great.
I know, right?
That's
I gotta get my own server and have my own website and make people kiss my butt.
Right.
Yeah. So has anybody thought about PRI?
That's another
God, I like PRI so much, but I don't want to go back 2 times I can't afford to take that much time off from work.
Yeah, because this is in December this year.
Yeah, they should be further apart.
And they're owned by the same company.
Yeah. Well, that's recent. Within the last couple of years, SEMA bought out PRI.
Yeah.
There used to be 2 separate deals.
It's only 5 hours for me, so we'll jump over there and hang out.
It used to be 45 minutes for me because they used to have it in Orlando, which was just awesome.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody, when they moved it to Indianapolis, everybody had pitched a fit. What are you kidding me?
Oh,
there's nothing going on in Indianapolis, and it's cold and gray.
I went 2 years ago, and it was so cold, man. It was miserable.
That's when I met you.
Oh, is it? Yep.
Yeah, that was the time I met you and Lou walking down the street.
Yep.
And my wife was on the phone with her sister. We were inside. You guys were walking down the street, and it was the street that they had all the car trailers on.
Yeah, it was cold.
And there was a door there, and I opened up the door, and I was like, Lou! He was like, you guys were like, hey, what's up? I'm like, dude, I've been looking to meet you forever. I said, I live near where you film. And he was like, get out of here. Hey, here's my card. Call me up. We'll go have a beer. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So, that was a few years ago. It was like, 3 years ago or more?
Yeah, 3 or 4,
Yeah. Freezing.
Snow. It was cold. It was just stupid cold.
And then, you're walking around in this convention center, and you got a coat.
All right.
And it's hot, so now you got the coat on your arm, and you're trying to carry a bag full of catalogs.
They don't do a coat check thing?
I didn't see one.
Wow, that's all I like about Javits. They have that huge area in the beginning we just check your coat and stuff. And
you know what? I lied. They do have a coat check because I go to the media center and they let the media put stuff in.
I didn't. I couldn't find that.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's a great show. It's a really good show. But I liked it better when it was here in Florida.
We know
'Cause
the convention
I
center.
could just take a day off and go out there and see everybody and walk the show and go home.
Yeah,
Fine.
that convention center is really awkward. Like the buildings are all chopped up. It's really weird.
It's not big enough. Remember, there was vendors out in the hallway.
Yeah.
You couldn't walk up and down the hallway.
Yeah, it wasn't too slick.
No, it's definitely outgrown that place, and I don't know why they haven't moved the venue.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I have to go though because I gotta meet up with some people. But
Yeah,
it's close. Yeah, it is.
You know what it is? It's SEMA without the fluff.
Yep.
It's all the hardcore stuff, and there's a lot of vendors that don't go to SEMA because the price to get a space there is just obscene.
Mm-hmm.
So it's less expensive to be a PRI, and it's more hardcore. You're going to get a whole bunch of guys that are actual racers, car builders, drivers, machinists. It's that. There's no auto body stuff. There's no audio. There's none of these idiots selling LED lights that change a bazillion colors with a remote control. There's none of that.
Yeah.
It's just engines and transmissions and machinery and electronic ignitions, things like that. So that's a good, solid show.
Oh.
Because PRI is not coming up.
Okay, guys, what is that show called? Because she's looking up PRI and it's not coming up.
That's Performance Racing Industry.
Yeah.
I should know that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Trade only, though.
We'll get you in. Hey, we'll get you in your media.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, wait.
I got us into SEMA. I can get us into this.
My wife spins really good tales. Remember, she's an NCO from the Air Force.
There you go.
All right.
Show me the rules. I'll make it fit.
Yeah, show me the rules. I'll make it fit.
So, hey, I got a question for you guys. I'm thinking about buying a Audi with a blown motor.
You are a sadist. You're a masochist.
Wow.
No, listen,
You really are.
Listen,
Dude.
I think I might do a Terry on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that case.
That would be awesome. An
LS
LS and an
swap.
Audi.
See, the Audi has, I don't know what number it is, but it's really, it's the big boy.
The 8?
Is it a 8L?
I'll tell you, an LS would fit in a 6. So I've worked on those too.
I think it's the 8L, but it's really plush. And so I'm thinking about throwing LS in it,
Oh, Indiana. Well, we can go to Indiana.
It always
be the way to
comes
go.
with any engine swap. It's the same problems we had back in the 70s. It's always making the ancillary stuff work, like the transmission mounted to the transmission mounting to the engine, the drive shaft, belts, accessories, things like that's always where you're going to spend most of your time. Getting that engine in is a piece of cake for the most part.
First place to stop, transdap.com.
Yeah, right. But
And
they probably
Hearst.
don't make a mount for it. But
I don't know. Transdap and Hearst they've got mounts and adapters for stuff that you would never even think of.
Yeah, it's worth checking into. But,
well, they're doing a lot of European cars down south. They're swapping. So I think it's becoming really popular. So if I get this car at the right price, I think I'm going to jump on it.
I did I think it was a 180. It was a Mercedes convertible, real small, from, I think it was like from the 60s or something.
Oh,
I think it was a 180 SL.
Yeah, it was a 180. It was a 190. It was very popular.
Yeah, small, 2 round headlights in the front.
Yeah.
Real
Put a small block
taillights
Chevy in it.
back. Put a big block in it. Put a whole frame in the car.
Nice.
The guy that owns the marina that we used to keep our boat in on the island. He knew I was into hot rods through another guy that lives out in Santa Mauritius there, John Montecalvo. And he called me up. He's like, I got this Mercedes Benz and I want to do something crazy with it. I want to put real big tires in it. I'm like, well, you need a back half. He goes, yeah, but I want the front suspension's terrible, and I want to put a Chevy motor in it. I'm like, oh, I'll just put a whole frame in the car for you. So that's what we did. We did upper and lower A-arm system, bent rails, put a big block Chevy, put a turbo 400 and a 9-inch narrowed 9-inch with like 31-inch tall by like 18-inch wide tires on center lines.
Again, making that turbo 400 fit in some of those smaller cars can be a chore.
Yeah, I had to do some metal work.
Yeah.
You know, but car came out really, really cool.
Oh, sure.
I don't know whatever happened to it. I never saw it finished. It came to me, it was like this horrible black paint. It's like somebody painted it with a roller, and then they hand painted flames on it.
Right hand column top.
I have pictures of it. I'll have to post them. It's hilarious.
Where you guys at? The Bellagio?
Close enough, yeah.
We're in San Francisco.
Geary Parkway Motel.
Geary Parkway Motel. I got an appointment in the VA tomorrow.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
This was for my
This is radiology and a CT scan.
radiology and a CT scan.
You have that tiny little microscopic bit of water around your lung that he wants to look at.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So
well, good. We'll be praying for you.
Thank you.
Justin wants to know about engine swaps. What's the craziest engine swap we've done?
Well, that's the question for you.
Yeah.
My stuff's all standard stuff.
All the same, yeah.
How is it?
All big blocks, small blocks, some Ford
I
stuff.
I didn't do the swap. I didn't have anything to do with the swap, but I used to work on a 68 911 that had a small block Chevy in it.
And that's a bastard year. That's a good year to do that too, because that's a bad year.
Yeah.
So that was a crazy car to drive. And when I worked at the gas station, when I first started, my boss had a 66 Beetle that had a 912 motor in it.
Oh yeah,
and it wasn't. It's not a really big swap, but it was really badass driving that Beetle around with that Porsche motor in it. That thing flew.
I worked on a guy's dune buggy that had a big block Chevy in it.
Yeah, we did a late 60s, early 70s Beetle with a blown small block Chevy in it.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool to make something like that work.
Yeah.
You know? But again, it was one of those deals where we just took the body off the platform,
right?
Put it on the table and put a chassis underneath it. So when it comes time to throw the motor in, it's a motor plate in the front, a motor plate in the back. It drops in. You know, it's the hardest thing was cutting the hood around the blower and the blower drive assembly. I mean, that stuff, it looked like one of those, what were those things that they made in the 70s where it was like a full-size engine, but it was like a tiny car?
It was, micro machines.
No,
they
zingers.
were on
zingers.
There was a couple,
they were on display at car shows. That's what this Volkswagen looked like, because literally the front of the heads stuck out of the hood.
Yeah.
And that's a small block.
I sent you a picture of
drops, you know.
I sent you a picture, Ray, a couple months ago, but a buddy of mine has a 60, can't remember what year Oldsmobile Starfire thing. Yeah. And it had Duramax. He put a Duramax in it.
Right.
And that is the craziest car when it drives by, because it's got he's got this 3.5-inch exhaust pipe coming just on one side, and it's quiet. I mean, you don't even realize it's a diesel, you know?
Yeah.
But this thing drives by and you just see this one big pipe come out. People walk by and look at it, and it's kind of crazy on that.
I remember being at Lead East one year, and I walked around. This is back like in the early 90s, and there was this like fuchsia-colored Chevette. I came up to it from the back. This thing was tubbed. It had maybe 8 inches of rear end that you could see. Slicks. I said, "Oh, that's cool." And I walked around the front, and there was a blown big block Chevy sitting in this thing. I was like, "Oh my god!" And I looked at the guy sitting in the chair, had to be about 400 pounds. I was like, no, don't tell me this guy actually gets in this car. But it was his car.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, one day when I grow up. But
Oh,
yeah, if I can get this out, listen. When I was in Alabama with Sam, he took me for a ride in his Audi, and I'm telling you what, he got it tweaked up. That car ran nice, but it's the big boy. It's the $100,000 Audi.
Really?
And it's the RS. I mean the what was that? Was that a 2-seater?
No, 4-seater.
The one that Sam
4-door.
had? Yeah.
Yeah, the
4-door,
A8.
but it's one of the new luxury.
Oh, the new one, yeah.
Yeah.
I was working on two of them, an A6 and a supercharged A8, and it ends up both. I could have bought either one of them, and I said, even as much as I'd like to have them, I don't want either one of them because I don't want to have to pay to fix these things, and I don't want to work on them. Bad enough I had to work on them there. I don't
Which
wanna
is the
work-
one that's the real expensive 2-seat sports car?
Is that the 8?
No.
No, it's
It's
The one
a
is that
Iron
an
Man
R-
drives.
yeah,
It's not the R8.
No, it's
the R8. The R8.
R8.
The R8,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's
R8.
the one that I told you that Nate, he's got 2 of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Got a
I
black
tell you,
one
even
and
that
an orange one.
supercharged A8, that thing moves, and it's got
Yeah.
huge brakes on. That was what I was complaining. I was just telling the guy at work about that, where the to take the calipers off. You know, I go around the back, and they're usually Allen keys. So I put I think it was probably an 8mm in there, and I couldn't get it to grab. I'm like, what is it, Torx? I couldn't get a Torx to grab. So I had to get the guy in the shop who's small. He's from Guyana. I said, get your head up in there and see what the hell's back there. And he gets in and goes, oh, it's Allen key. I'm like, God damn, my Allen key isn't fitting. What's going on? But what it is they recessed the caliper slide bolts probably about 10 millimeters more than any other caliper. So your normal sized bit driver didn't fit. And you couldn't use the long ones because they were too long. So luckily I was able to take the roll pin out of my driver, put the bit in, and then put the end back on just so it would grab. And I had just enough to get that thing out. And that's what I was talking to you, Brian, about. That's about a year or two ago. And you said,
Yeah.
oh, no, we sell the tool for that. I was like, yeah, another freaking special tool.
Yeah, see, that's the bad thing about those foreign cars. You got to have special tools.
I ain't doing it. I said, I'll make mine work. Sorry. I ain't
They're
doing it.
doing it on everything.
I know.
Yep.
It's a killer.
Yeah.
Engineers.
Yeah.
Because they don't care about
I mean,
getting
it was only
stuff
like-
back out. As
It
long
was
as it
just like
fits.
10 millimeters deeper. Like, why? Why?
Somebody made it was one of those sarcastic memes on Facebook. It didn't say what motor company it was, but it showed the transmission minus the engine. The
Yeah.
starter is mounted inside the bell housing of the transmission.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Who does that?
Somebody don't care about taking it back out.
I don't remember what car that was, but that was like, then the other one they show is the North Star with the starter mounted under the intake manifold.
Yeah, I've seen that. But
That's
this is the
the other
first
one.
time I ever saw a starter inside the bell housing.
Right. Yes.
And
I
I'm
saw
like,
that
you
one
gotta be
too.
kidding me.
Their job
That's got to
is
be
to
the
get it to
dumbest
fit.
place. Yeah, I can understand that. But that's got to be the dumbest place to put a starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show me one car. I don't care how much you baby it. When you take the transmission out, show me something where the bell housing is devoid of dirt, grease, and crud.
Exactly.
So now you're
Exactly.
slinging that stuff all over your starter.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Torque
Yep.
converter seals leak. Everything leaks. Rear main seals. Today, every car has a bad rear main seal. It's
That's true.
Not mine.
ridiculous.
I'm
You
using
lucked out.
I'm using BOP's one-piece Viton rear main seal in my Pontiac. I have like the only Pontiac that doesn't drip oil.
My 400 had that rope seal.
Right.
Remember that?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would have used them because I know how to do a rope seal, and I've done them with great luck. The problem is the new rope seals. They took God forbid, it's Prop 65. They took the asbestos out of them, and what they put in there was some kind of a corrugated hay, and the rope seals now just don't seal worth a damn.
Oh, so all those years back, I was messing with asbestos and didn't know it.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And I got a couple of them in stock. I still have a few of them in some old gasket sets. So if you ever need one, I got them. No.
I don't have Pontiac motors in my life.
Well, now even
anymore.
like with the Chevys, you can go to the lip seal. You can convert to lip seal, and now with Pontiac you can too. But it's it's a little more expensive, but it's it's worth it.
Let's see. The big powerful motor is a 2-piece seal, so that means it's an older block.
Right.
And
you
I
can
didn't
use
bother
lip
to
seal
check the other one. I think the other one is a 1-piece seal, so that's a slightly newer block.
That's no way, yeah. But yeah, you can put the lip seal in the Chevy.
Well, I'm gonna do a little work on the Caddy this weekend, I think.
Good.
Yeah, you should get another running car up in your house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, man, it's always something.
Either that or get a good bicycle. You need one of those Stingrays, those orange crates with the big ape hanger handlebars
There
and
you go.
sissy bar. Those are nice.
Yeah.
Big
I
money.
had the pea picker.
Oh,
when I was
did
a
you?
kid. Yeah.
Nice.
Had that cheetah slick.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that slick had a white wall too, right?
It
Wasn't
did.
it a white
It said
wall?
Schwinn in white letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
There he is.
My
Had a
friend
little
Jeff
front
restored those.
tire.
He's got a couple that he's restored.
Yeah, it had a little front tire with a
Yep.
Springer front end.
Yeah.
Had that 5-speed shifter.
Yep,
On the bar.
with the black shift knob on it.
Yeah.
You
That
talking
was a
about the
bad
Schwinn
bicycle.
Stingray?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The pea picker is the one I had, the green one.
I had this. I had the sky blue one.
Hey, everybody, we
Yeah.
got a celebrity in the house, Terry Coverman 66.
Yeah.
That's it.
What's going on, Chief?
What's happening, fellas? How's everyone doing? LaSalle, what's
Doing
up?
good.
What's up, Johnny? What's up?
Hello.
How's
We're
everyone
Learned
doing?
something about Terry the other day. I watched his video about his favorite
Right.
Firebird.
I watched
is
that one, too.
69, and that's a
Favorite
beautiful
bird.
69.
Nice car.
That's my
That's
favorite.
on my
bird.
bucket
Beautiful
list.
69.
Yeah.
You know, it's because I was born in 69, so all the 69 cars are just hot.
It was a good
Yeah.
year, though, across
Good
the
year.
board.
69 is a great year.
everywhere.
Camaros were great. The Firebirds were great. The
Even the
Chevelles were
Mercuries,
great.
Montegos, they were,
Yeah,
there were a lot
all
of
that
nice
stuff.
cars.
69 Mustang. A 69 Mach 1 is a beautiful car.
That's my favorite Mustang.
with
69.
those set back headlights, real
Right.
deep inside, with that long hood and that rear window that you basically can't even see out of because
Right.
it's got such an angle to it.
The only
Beautiful
car that
car.
suffered in 69 was the Cuda. But they made up for it in the next year.
Well, 70. Because they were doing a refit. They were changing.
Yeah.
But I'll take a 70 Mustang too. I mean, like either or, any different day, it'd be like 69, 70.
Yeah.
Right.
69 Dodge Charger, 69 Roadrunner. 69 was the year.
69 was the year.
It was a good
And
year.
then 70
Everything was
was-
born. Everything was born in 69.
70
baby.
was the year for the Buick, the GSX, prettiest GSX. 70 was the year for. I question the GTO because GTO 69, 70, it goes back and forth. And even
68, 69 are the same. It's 70 as they changed the lights.
Yeah.
They went to the dual lights. It changed a little bit, but not as much as 71.
No, 71, it was drastic. Matter of fact, 69 and 70, you can use the same hood, I believe.
Okay, yeah, probably.
You can use the same hood. But yeah, I saw that car out there, and I was like, I always like a 69 Firebird. I always loved that car. That's the car I really wanted. And I always came close to getting one, but I was just like, that car was a shame because, like, as beautiful as it was, it always stood in the shadows of that 69 Camaro.
Yeah.
And it was because of General Motors being really, really cheap. That car is a Camaro with a couple of pieces bolted onto it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Absolutely.
It's got the same quarter panel, lips, the fender lips. It's got the exact same dashboard as a Camaro. There's everything on that car. Basically they told who was in charge of Pontiac back then. You could build it.
What was the guy's name?
No.
DeLorean.
DeLorean?
Yep.
I don't know if he was still in charge by 69, though.
I don't know.
I think 69. I think he was there until 70, something like that.
Okay.
It's close. That's why I call him the man DeLorean.
Yeah.
He was a great designer.
It's a great car. It's a beautiful car. But it lived in the shadows because basically it was a Camaro with different tail lights and bumpers.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing: the Firebird came first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show car, the prototype Firebird came out before the Camaro.
Yeah, Firebird came first.
Camaro was an afterthought, but then GM put all their money in the Camaro.
If I remember right, Terry, the only thing I think I might have changed with that car is I think the rear was just a little too high for my taste.
Really, in the '69?
No, that particular car that you were looking at.
Oh no! If he gave me that car would be dropped in a second.
Yeah,
I would lower the whole car.
No, the car would be lowered coilovers, and it would have an LS in it, of course. But
you don't even have to do the coilovers. You could just put. They sell these really nice spacers,
right?
That go between the leaf spring and the rear, and just
pushes
pushes the rear up in the car.
Yep.
I would put a set of spindles in the front.
I would give a call to QA1, get a coilover set up for the front, and get a call to what's it called, you boys, Chassis Works over there, Chris Alston, and get a 4-link.
Do what I did in the Camaro.
Yeah. Get a 4-link. That's it. That's how I got my '69 set up. I haven't installed it yet, but I'm going to be doing it over the winter.
That Alston, I should have documented that better. That Alston setup was awesome.
It is. They give you two.
I have a ton of photos on the Chassis Connection page on that.
Yep.
Of me doing all of that. It's nice. It's really nice.
Louis Lee saw my '69 Camaro when he was here.
Yep. Yeah, it's going down. Yep.
Yeah. Got the LS2 in it.
Nice.
That's one of my bucket lists is a '69.
Yeah, I love them. I will get a '69 Firebird and make it a Trans Am clone. It'll come to me.
You gotta paint it white with the blue stripes.
No, see, I don't want to do that. I want to stop. I like that blue. The blue is
nice. Blue.
Nice.
That
Blue with
blue
white
is
stripes.
real pretty.
Remember the powder blue one they came out with?
Make it solid.
Yeah. You remember that powder blue color they came out with?
That was later into the late '70s.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
You got to put that wing on the back with the pedestals.
100%. I agree with that.
Curves and comes down to the quarters. That's a nice wing.
It is.
They used that on the GTO too, didn't they?
They actually had a ducktail spoiler in '68 and '69 that they put on the GTO, but they're very rare. There was a problem with the mold, so they kind of stopped them.
All of this stuff is rare. I called my buddy here in town, who's the big Pontiac reseller guy. If it's a Firebird, he's got it. And I asked him if he had that centerpiece, because that centerpiece is fiberglass from the factory.
Right.
He's like, yeah, right. I'm like, really? He goes, you're not going to find it.
Wow.
I go, get out of here. He goes, anyone that you find is destroyed. He says the chances of you finding one that's even rebuildable is slim and none.
What piece is it?
It's a filler panel between the taillights. This piece here.
Yeah.
And these reproduction ones are made out of ABS plastic, and they fit like shit.
Nice.
What year is it?
70 to 73.
Hold on, I'm about to.
So what's the plan, John? What are you going to do?
My guy said, make that one work.
Okay.
He said, grind it, do whatever you got to do. He says, if you got to re-drill the holes in the body panel to be able to move it around. He said, if you can't get it in far enough, because it's what I was talking to you about. See the little hole where the key goes?
Yeah.
The trunk lock bolts to the metal panel behind that, two bolts. And then this piece here, which is supposed to be a fiberglass piece, sits against the lock cylinder from the factory.
So the cylinder's kind of locking it in place.
And in other words, the cylinder bolts in with two bolts.
Yeah.
But the fascia that goes over it literally lays against the actual lock. Now the lock is the same size as the one that's in your door. but the hole is smaller, so it's hiding a lot of that bezel on the
Yeah.
lock. So with this thing sticking out further than it's supposed to, I'm going to wind up with a gap to the point
Wait.
where I don't think I'll be able to actually get the key all the way into the lock cylinder to open
wow.
the trunk.
What year
So I
did you
need
say
to-
again?
70 to
70.
73. You'll find them as a piece you can buy, but they're all made of ABS plastic.
No, listen, I got a buddy that got a whole lot full. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Chassis John.
Yeah.
Quick question: does your buddy does he have GTO parts?
No,
Hey, go on.
he's strictly Firebird.
I need those parking lights.
Every now and then he'll come up with something from like one of those big Bonnievilles, like
I like
out of the
the
70s or 80s. Like
Man, I
big,
could have
big
bought
old
one.
Bonneville.
I could have bought a convertible one, man, from the repo lot, but the guy from the bank came and got it.
Yeah, he's
Almost had
strictly
it.
my guy's strictly Firebirds. It's like so weird, you know. You go, he's got a lot, and it's all fenced off, all alarmed, all cambered up, and you go there and you'll see various years of second gen Firebirds in different conditions,
Mm.
and he strips them and he sells the parts off of them, and sometimes he'll sell the whole car and the whole 9 yards. He told me just last week he got a legitimate 70 Trans Am.
Wow.
It's beat up, but it's got the right VIN. It's got the title. The roof is good. The quarters are rotted to hell. The floor is falling out of it. But it has that pedigree that it's a real 70. So if
Yeah.
you wanted to rebuild it, he's got it.
Hey, John,
And it was,
one of my dude here said he's going to check tomorrow. He said he probably
Okay.
does.
oh wow,
Wow.
awesome.
I'm telling you, man, I went to his shop and I bet he has 15, 20 of them. He got some stuff.
All right, yeah.
Terry, that's my
It's
boy
it's
Craig.
It's the fiberglass panel that goes between the taillights.
Yeah, he'll check tomorrow and let me know. Terry,
Yeah,
it's
that's
my boy
that'd be
Craig that has the Corvette. Remember? when I
Oh
called you?
yeah. Nice guy.
Yeah, yep.
You know. So I saw that the topic was who's going to SEMA.
Yes.
So who's going
You're
to
not
SEMA?
allowed.
Well, listen, SEMA put out a video today explaining that you have to wear a mask, but they're not gonna have you take a test or be vaccinated unless the city throws that in.
Hmm.
But as of right now, all you need to do is wear a mask.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
So I'm not
Dude.
going.
I wear masks all the time because I go to places where I have to wear a mask. I got no choice.
I hate it.
So
Yeah.
whatever.
So you're
But-
so John's in. What about
I
you?
get
Pop
I
Squad?
get on an airplane. I got to wear a mask. If I got to go to SEMA, I got to wear a mask. If I go today, I was at the doctor's office taking care of the aquarium in the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doc says, if you're coming in here, you got to wear a mask. He says, because I
Go
got
see
people
your
in
train.
and out of here. You know,
You have to wear a mask.
so there's places I'm going for my business where I got to put a mask on. I keep 2 masks in the truck. You know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. What are you gonna do? You know, deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I say.
I'm no fan of it. I think it's stupidity.
So
I'm not a mask guy. I got doctor friends that tell me straight up, you know, it's political, it's bullshit. But
Yeah. Masks
until
don't work.
they
They
decide
don't do it. They
to
don't do
change the
anything.
rules, what are you gonna do?
yeah. So SEMA's really pushing. They put that video out today. It was I think it was the president of the board
Yeah.
put out a video, and I reposted a letter that they also put out. They put out a big post talking about it. So they're talking about Chip Foose has 25 of his cars are going to be there in one spot. And West Coast Customs, they're going to have a big booth. Ford is doing a special thing with the Bronco. I guess it's going to be climbing rocks and doing all kind of. They're going to be showing you what it really can do. So I'm thinking that new Bronco is supposed to be a beast.
Terry, who were some of those big companies that you said weren't going to SEMA?
Well, Aeromotor's not going. I believe Summit's not going to be there. Yeah, I heard Summit's not going to be there.
Miller.
Boss Hog. I think Nelson's bailing. Yeah, I don't think Nelson's going to be there. I don't think he's going to be there. QA1's still going to be there. Hemmings is still going to be there. Who was the other person that bailed out that said no? Like two other big people. I forgot who they were though. I forgot who they were at this time, but Aeromotor is definitely not going to be there. They're one of my peoples.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, it's a hard call. I mean,
hey, it's the first one back since this thing started. You know.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Next year will be a different story, unless we come up with another
the fourth variant.
What are we going on? Like 3 months? It's time for another variant.
Yeah, right.
It's coming.
There is another variant.
What variant are we on? We're on 16, aren't we?
I don't know. What comes after Lambda? Moo? Moo.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the latest one. Is it?
The Omega variant.
So, Papa Squirrel, will you be there? Sema?
Oh yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment.
Good.
I want to see what new tools they've got there.
Yeah.
And I'll be sure to bring my.
So if you got credentials for SEMA, you can get credentials for PRI.
Yep.
It's the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you go to the PRI site, they're going to ask you the same questions. Just
Yep.
use the same information.
Yep.
Your fake
But I will
LLC and everything else.
I'm guessing Debbie already did it.
No, I already looked it up.
I will bring a
PRI?
PRI, so I don't drool on anything. What'd
Who's
you
going
say,
to
Terry?
PRI?
Papa Squirrel going to go to PRI.
What about you?
I don't
No,
think
I'm not going.
This year it's December.
I got too much going on, man. I got work.
Good.
I got things
I
happening.
don't want
It's
to
too cold for him.
It ain't too cold for me.
That's
I gotta
the thing
get.
that's stopping
I gotta
me
get this
because-
car in the. This car's got to get in the body shop before Christmas. Got to get there.
Yeah.
I got things to do.
Terry, are you going to fly or are you going to drive?
What, the PRI?
Yeah.
I think I'll probably fly if I go.
Man,
Yeah, it's
quit
like
being
it's about an hour and 45-minute flight from New
Quit-
York.
quit being bougie. Why don't you drive, man? So you come through here, we
Drive
can
out
drive
there,
together.
man. You know, it's like 13 hours to drive, man. I'll just fly out there, you know.
Yeah.
I drove.
So you
to
come through
Indy.
here, we get a couple donuts, and we take off and
Oh, for the
Yeah.
donuts. Oh, I'm definitely going to drive the 13
there you
hours.
go.
For that, yeah.
In the 80s, I went to the very first time I ever went to the Street Machine Nationals in Indianapolis.
Yes, we are.
It was like 81, and we took the Firebird, the white Firebird, and we towed it with a 70 Monte Carlo SS 454.
Nice.
There you go.
Huh.
4 guys in the Monte, suitcases in the trunk, and the Firebird on an open trailer.
Wow.
Went out to Indy, got the car in Carcraft magazine. I was like rolling. It was awesome. We had such a good time. I got to drive around the Indianapolis racetrack. Let me tell you something. To me, that was insanity. Because the banks aren't really that steep at Indy.
No,
But
they're
it's
not.
enough that if you take your hands off the wheel, you go right around the track. And it was so weird to be driving with, giant 17-inch wide tires with a spool, little skinnies in the front, and there you are going around the track. They got like a pace guy in front of you. You go like 55, 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
We had a lot of that. Was awesome. It was totally awesome.
Hey, Justin,
I
hook
got
up
a
with us
little
out there if
scared.
you get out. Yeah, if you get out there, Justin, hook up with us. We'll be there.
Oh, yeah, Justin.
Yeah, we had a good old time there. That was a blast.
See, my boys are bringing that 73 Trans Am out there.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're gonna bring. I was working on
I like
today,
that
as a matter of
car.
fact. Yeah.
That car's nice.
This car's gonna be sick. Wait until you see. I'm putting some more videos out probably tomorrow, either this weekend. You'll see it. They painted the engine, everything like that. It's all hotchkissed out. It's a nice car.
Hey Terry, I have to give you your props, man. This video editing sucks. Man, I sat down Sunday, I think at 12 in the afternoon. It was like 7, 8 o'clock before I got done.
Wow.
What were you editing?
Because, you know, for the schoolie.
Oh, the schoolie, okay. Oh no, editing, you get it's something else. I love it. I like it. I always did. That's why, you know.
Well, the main thing is getting yourself organized. Because when
Yes.
you're not organized, you know, I got videos here, I got videos there, I got to listen to them, watch them. I'm like, oh man. So this week I got it pretty organized. When I did a film, I put it right into a folder, so I know exactly where to go, and so it'd be a lot quicker.
Well, here's my little trick. I edit as I want it to go, as I'm telling the story. Like very rarely, well, when I edit, matter of fact, with that Firebird, I was all over the place because I was like, okay, I shot the initial, but then I was like, oh man, I should say something about, you know, like the 69, you know, like the years of the other car standing in the shadow. So I went back out and did that. So I went out of sequence. I was like, oh man, I should do something about the subtle differences, like the wheel well, the front fender, you know, the front nose and all that. So I went out of sequence. You know, then I was like, you know what, I should say something about, you know, like the whole 70 and a half thing. You know, like with the Camaro, does that hold true with the 69 Firebird? But that was towards the end anyways. So the video was a lot longer, then you got to edit it out and everything like that. And then, you know, I do like 5 or 6 different edits because I want to make sure I can take it out. Do I take this out? Should I take this out? I can make this shorter, you know, like, because I like it to be like in your face quick. You know?
Terry, there was something that a guy told me a while ago when I was writing, because I do the same thing. You want to go back and you want to add this and amend that and clarify this. And he said, you know what? Stay true to what you're writing.
Right.
And you'll probably have enough to make another article out of all the stuff that you're going to add in, because it'll probably come out better because you'll concentrate on just that. And I started doing that, and it helped me a lot because it made the work go faster. So just throwing it out there, you know.
And you're right. You know, it's just like I said, I never, in all my videos, I think maybe 3 of them, I had like something that I'm going to read off like bullet points, but for the most part, most of the videos off the top of the head. Like right. I'm going to be doing a 70 Cuda because he has one in the yacht in the yard. So I'm going to pretty much do the same thing about the 70 Cuda, which happens to be my second favorite Cuda next to 71.
You know what I like about your videos, and you hold true to this. On every video, I have never seen a video where you don't. You start talking about the car, and then you go off on this tangent, and you start talking about other stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, and you catch yourself. And I love that. That's the part of the video I wait for. I
every
wait
now
for
and then
you to just like kind of go sideways for a little bit.
Oh no, you know, like
and then you catch yourself.
You know, start talking to yourself. And I'll be like, anyways, you know, because that's what happened with the Trans Am. I was like talking about, well, Trans Am, you know, same thing, 76, 76, no, 77, 78, pretty much same car, other than when you got the Trans Am with the block letters, and one was like a calligraphy type of thing in 77, and the Hearst hatch.
Wraparound back window.
Yeah, the back window, wraparound back window. There's 74, 75.
75. Right. So now you know what you need to do. You need to get a little short little piece of audio, I guess about maybe a second or less than a second, that's like a record going backwards.
Yeah.
Put that little audio in when you catch yourself and
right.
you get back.
Okay.
Get back to what's going on.
Come back. Yeah, I do.
My video suggestion.
No, I appreciate that. Nah, because like every now and then, like it's something that just happens where I'm just like, well, it's like a 73, but 74 didn't have a wraparound back window. 75 was the first year, which is my second favorite car, you know, and it is.
But 74 had the funky quarter panel.
74 did have a funky quarter panel.
Had the quarter panel with the cut in it because it had that rubber strip bumper.
Yes. Yeah. Well, 75 is my second favorite. I like the 75 over the 77, 78.
So try restoring a 74. You ain't
I
gonna
wouldn't wanna
find
do it.
quarter panels. They don't sell
I wouldn't
quarter
wanna do it.
panels for it.
You would have to
Oh,
probably
really?
use Camaros.
No, that's a totally different body line. You'd probably have to take the standard quarter panel like this one, and
Yep.
then metal work them in order to get the bumper to fit.
Yep.
Because this is 70 to 73, and then they make like what 75 and up.
You see, this is the way I
It's
see
got a
it.
notch.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, let's take it from every year in the, from Camaros, the important ones. 67, 68. I don't know if I like the Camaro or the Firebird better. I'm not sure. I would have to go with the Camaro. I like better.
Right.
69, it's any given. I mean, I love the 69 Camaro, but I also love that Firebird. So if you catch me on a Tuesday, I say the Firebird. If you catch me on a Monday, I say the Camaro.
69
Those are a
Camaro
toss-up.
all day long.
Yeah, I'm lying.
Right.
It's the 69 Camaro. I got to. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But when it comes to the 70, Trans Am or either Z28, I got to go with the Z28.
Trans Am.
I got to go with the Z28.
Trans Am.
But
Well,
that
Formula.
like, say,
70 to 73 for me. 70 to 73 is the best looking Firebirds and the best looking Camaro.
Has a split bumper in the front, right?
split bumper
That's
is
why on
70,
the RS.
an
70,
RS.
74 is the redheaded stepchild.
74, 75, 74. I got to go with the Z28.
That was a strike year. That's why they had that.
Yeah.
That was a strike year for GM.
74 Firebirds are uglier than shit.
I give you that.
Camaros are uglier than shit.
No, 74 Z28. I got to take. I like the
Yeah,
74
I don't like
Z28.
Really?
I like that 74 Z28. If I had between the
I'll
two,
tell you what. I'll tell you what's my world. Camaro and Firebird, 70 to 73, and then 77 to the next to 79, 77, 78, and then 79 to 81.
Trans
anything-
Am.
Both of them. I like them both.
If
So,
they get if they said
those
here's a,
in between years, 74, 75, junkyard stuff from.
I
from
like
my
the
world.
75 Trans Am.
Really? With
Not
that
a fan of the
with that
76.
rectangular grill?
I like
Actually,
it. Not a fan of the
75
76.
Strange looking.
The
I like the one
75
where they-
SD was a very popular, very powerful car. That's
There you
a
go.
hard one to find. Yeah.
Super Duty,
Yeah.
yes.
The Super Duty.
Yeah. Now the 76 Trans Am. No.
No. 77.
Those are those powder blue ones Lewis was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that. Charlie's Angels car.
I did-
77 bandit style, but
I
not
dated a girl
particularly
with one of
bandit
those.
car.
What is the
There you go.
Bluebird, the Sky, and the Redbird?
Got blue.
Yeah. And
I
the
dated a
Macho
girl with one of those, and I was
TA.
scared to drive it around. I didn't want my buddies to see me in it.
Right.
Macho
Yeah.
TA.
Macho TA.
That was so hideous. That wing. Oh my god.
That was ridiculous. Yeah,
But I
that
think-
blue, that
Justin-
Robin's egg blue, that was some weird
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, the
It was called
Skybird.
a Bluebird.
The Bluebird or Skybird or something like that.
It was a blue. Somewhere in my slide collection, I have a picture of one of those at the New York Auto Show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
I
then they
remember-
have the
I
red
remember
one
that-
too.
Because I remember the wheels had like a blue tint to it.
Yeah.
It was that light blue color. The interior had that light blue in it.
Weren't they? I think they were honeycomb wheels, and instead of being
Yeah, they
gold,
were.
they made them blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Justin, I use Premiere Pro.
Way to go, Keith.
I was just getting ready to say I was going to let you guys feather everything out, but you are missing the classic, the Mustang 2, and the Cobra.
Yeah.
And you're really hurting my feelings that you guys can't at least let me talk a little bit about the little blue oval.
We'll
But it's
see.
okay. I still love you guys. It's all right.
I tell you what.
Thing.
I tell
Hey
you
man,
what,
I like Pintos. I love Pintos.
I
As
tell you what,
dangerous as they are.
I would
Make
be
the race
lying
hard.
if I would be lying if I said I didn't like the Charlie's Angel Mustang Cobra.
The Cobra.
Oh boy.
Really?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't like
I
that.
think I'd have to go with a Maverick before I went with a Mustang.
A
But,
Maverick grabber.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
I'd be
that's
lying if I said I didn't like that white and blue Mustang.
Yeah.
White Mustang with the blue
You know,
stripe.
say what you want about the Mustang 2. How many hot rods ended up with the Mustang 2 steering?
There you
Yeah.
go.
Most,
Oh, that's just a piece of it.
the
That was a
Yeah.
piece that was
It
worth
survived.
saving.
It's the
front
one
end,
piece
the,
that survived.
A
Mustang
lot.
2s will live forever. Just that one tiny little part.
Yeah.
the most universal zero bump steer front end ever created.
Well, and look how many race cars have Vega steering boxes in them. Everything from gassers to full-blown race cars using Vega steering boxes. You can mount them at almost any angle.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's
Hey
a hell of
guys,
a lot
I
more
gotta
cars
bail.
with
I
a,
gotta get
with
up
a
early
power,
tomorrow.
with a
All right,
Ford
Jim.
rack and pinion in it.
All righty.
Come on, LaSalle. Come on. We just starting with the Mustangs. Get in here. Go.
I know. Don't leave. Come on.
Mustangs is my cue to get the F out, okay? See ya.
All right,
I'll
bro.
come back when you're talking Camaros. See you
All right,
guys.
have a good night.
Yeah. We'll
Take
talk
it
about
easy.
some
I
station
like
wagons.
Mustangs.
Come on.
I love Mustangs.
Hey, don't be messing with wagons.
Yeah.
Hey
Mustangs
Terry,
had
what
some, had some ugly years, but they had a lot of really nice ones.
Yeah. Terry, what software do you use for your editing? Justin wanted to know.
I'm starting to use Premiere.
Yeah, I use Premiere. Actually, I use a couple of them. I use Premiere and I use iMovie for my iPhone too.
But you know what? But most of my videos, I'm just starting to use Premiere. I haven't really, but most of them are just regular Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah.
Oh, I've used that before. It seems
Oh.
kind of wonky though. Maybe I just don't know my way
it's
around.
very easy because I don't, you know what it is. I don't like to go and have too much of a flashy video. I don't think people want to see that. I think people want to see, boom, what's up, yo, this is what we're doing. Go right into it.
Mm-hmm. Premiere is really detailed. If you really want to get into it, Premiere.
That's what they do. They use Premiere and Final Cut.
Final Cut
On TV, and that's what most of the shows that you see is using Premiere, either Final Cut.
Yep.
I got a question for you, and I have not been able to find this.
Uh-oh.
If I want to do a slideshow, because I've done a couple of them and put them in places, put them on CD, DVDs and stuff. I want a program where I could lay out, let's just say I'm going to do a section of photographs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to have a certain audio track, let's say a song, that I want to use in that section.
You can do it in
I
iMovie.
want something that will take, let's just say the song is 3 minutes long. Let's just say I have 34 slides, basically. I want something that will change the amount of time each slide is visible to match the overall length of the song.
iMovie. You got an iPhone, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yep, you can do it all on your iPhone. Now, I don't know if you can use iMovie on your computer if you don't have an Apple, but
No, I don't have
iMovie does it all.
You can. The Movie Maker does that. You just put the track down and you sync the video, the photographs to the music.
Mm-hmm.
Like just put all 30, just put all 34, whatever you want, back to back.
Right, so you'd have like a hard start and a hard stop.
Right.
And then you would fade into the next.
And you fade into the next or whatever, and if you go over, okay, one that you can cut it out, you can, have it zoom in on certain pictures.
Because I tried doing that, with Windows Movie Maker, and it's very difficult to do that. You can't.
But Premiere, most of them could do that. Most of the editing software can do that.
Do that now.
Yeah.
And who's a good site to join up to that has unlicensed music in a lot of different
Royal
genres?
Free Music?
Yeah.
I just got hooked up with what was it called? Story Blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Story
think you can
Blocks.
get some off of SoundCloud too.
You can get some off SoundCloud. But the only thing that sucks with the royalty music, it just sucks.
Yeah.
Royalty music just sucks. I mean, like, I rather
Where do you find good stuff?
Well, you can use any music long as you give them props. You got to put in your description that music by whoever.
I've done stuff like that, and YouTube, they'll let it play for a day, and then all of a sudden you get that deal where they lock you out and they shut your audio off It's like you don't have the rights to that. You can't use it.
Yeah, sometimes they do that. But see, you know, there's some artists
had that
they
happen
allow
to
you
me.
to use
I've
it.
had it happen on Facebook also.
Yeah, some artists will allow you to use their music. They just like, you know, just pay them. They'll be like, they're going to take a portion. And I'm cool with that. You know, I'm cool with that. But
I'll
then you
pay
got
for
some
it, I
artists
don't
that just
care.
like, it's not even the artist, it's the record label. Like if you try putting a Prince song to your music, to your video,
Yeah,
they shut that down.
really.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's hard.
I
But
see stuff. I see videos that people make, and the music is awesome.
Mhm.
And I'm like, where did they get this stuff from? You know, it's nine out of 10 of them. It's instrumental. But
Yeah, and that's
like,
what
it's great stuff. It's rocking in the background, or you know what I'm saying? It
I
just,
just talked
works
to-
perfect.
I just talked to one of the producers from what's it called? From Monster Garage, and I asked. It's funny that you asked. I asked him what music do they use. They said he gave me the name of it. He says this is the music that Motor Trend gets their music from. Hold on, I'll go get it. Hold on. There.
You know, at the radio station, we had bought packages years ago. It was open source music, and they gave it to us to do, bed music with. And we just, I have it on CD. We used the hell out of it. It was like after a while, we're tired of hearing it. But some of it was like jazzy, some of it was rocky. It made the gamut. Some of it was slow instrumental, and they would sell these packages to radio stations.
Well, see, back in the 90s, what happened was I was a hip hop. A lot of people don't know this, but I was a hip hop artist. And so I got tons of demos. I got tons of demos when I used to sample.
Yeah.
So if you alter it a little bit, you can use it.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how they get away with it. That's how like Eminem will steal, somebody's song and rap over it.
A lot. It's funny.
Change
A
it
lot.
bit, and they get away with that.
A lot of my music that I used, a lot of it has been used because it's from my demos back in the 90s. Some of the hip hop jams, my demos back in the 90s. Because I got instrumentals. So a lot of
the king of that is Will Smith. He takes pieces of songs.
Everyone samples.
And then when he samples stuff, and then when you listen to his music, you're like, damn, I know that song, but I can't remember the name.
But he pays big money for that.
But he is the absolute king of
if you use more than 4 bars, I think if you use like 1 bar, you don't have to pay or anything like something like that. But the thing is, what you do is you use it, and you got this machine called like the MPC 60, and you can alter the sound to the point where it sounds similar, but it just sounds different.
Well, like the song from Men in Black. Okay, that song that he sings from the song that they play on Men in Black is
by Patrice Russian.
Is the song "Forget Me Not"?
Forget Me Not, Patrice Russian. Yes.
Yeah. But it's like you hear it and you're like, I know what that song is, but I don't know what that song is.
Yeah.
And
as soon as I heard that, I was like,
and he's like the king of doing that, and it's unbelievable. Eminem same way.
No, you know who the king is Puffy.
Yeah.
P. Diddy.
I think the king probably is Tribe Called Quest, because you know what it is? They use jazz samples, and Puffy just like, let's take this bar and just put a drum beat behind it and let's run with it. I like that. That's all cool, but I prefer to hear someone, because it's an art now where you just take like maybe a quarter of a bar, and now you're making like a 2-bar, like song, and you're looping on it, and you're building upon that little quarter bar, and you're changing it to the point where you don't even know where it came from. You if you're in the know, wait a second, that sounds like the first beat of I don't know, Let's Dance or something like that from David Bowie, but it sounds totally different. And I think that's where the art begins. Because like anyone could take 4 bars from a song, sample it, throw a drum beat behind it, and hey, it's a hit.
Dr. Dre does too.
Yeah, but that's why I like like when they just sample it and they just twist it around. I remember doing what was it? I like Sade, and she had this song called War of Hearts. And it had like this real sexy sax in the beginning. What I did was I flipped it around. And I took like the first three, the third and the fourth beat.
Boy, you're busy on your phone tonight.
Yeah. And then put the first and second right behind it. So it would be 3, 4, 1, 2.
Oh wow, yeah, you re-engineered it.
Yeah, re-engineered it. And it sounded totally different. And see something like that, that's cool. But just to take that piece and just
been on
the way it is, it's okay, but you got to change it up.
You've been on
awesome.
past 8 last time, I swear.
8 is the longest, but
I think Papa Squirrel's like, I don't know, everything all right over there, Papa Squirrel?
Yes, he's enjoying it.
Oh, that must be the missus. I met her. How you doing? I met her at SEMA.
Debbie.
We got a picture, as a matter of fact. Yes.
Hey, listen, Debbie and Papa Squirrel are troopers. They're when they go somewhere, they take care of business.
There you go.
Yeah.
Way to be.
Yep.
I'm sorry I forgot my damn mic was on because she's
All right.
going to go wash her hair, and I'm going to sit here and listen.
Way to
Sounds
be.
good. Hey, fellas, I'm going to jump off.
Tomorrow,
though.
just make sure when you go outside tomorrow, when you leave the hotel, because you are in Nancy Pelosi's world, make sure you don't step in any human poop on the sidewalk.
Make sure you get the app. They got an app for that.
It's
You have
allowed.
to remind me.
You can drop your trousers right there on the sidewalk, and nobody will say anything.
Well, hey, fellas, I'm going to jump off. I got to.
You can drop your trousers out there. I'm not. I don't trust people.
Right.
All right, Lewis.
See you next week. Terry.
Right, Louis.
Make sure you're
Terry got a guy that we need to get on. Ray, I'm going to hit your guy up that we got to get on.
I think my guy's going to be traveling now. Tonight was his night.
Oh, was it? I'm sorry.
I'll find out. I'm going to see if I can get him for Sunday, and then we'll. He had remember I told you he had a very rigid. He had a strict schedule in the next couple. He's going to Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
So
Hawaii.
I'll let you know.
All
I'm
right.
gonna see if I can get. I'm gonna see if I get my buddy from Two Guard Garage, Kevin Bird.
Okay.
Two guys.
Two Guys
Guys
Garage.
Garage.
Yeah,
Kevin's a friend of mine. He's cool. Good.
he is really cool. He is just awesome.
Yeah.
Man. You know,
Kevin's a good guy. Ford guy. Hardcore Ford guy. He works for Ford.
and Beamer. He loves
Yes.
Beamer.
Yeah.
Loves Beamers.
And Willie B.
Willie B. He's a dog.
You know, it's funny. It's so funny.
Hey, let me go before you guys start.
All
right.
right, go, Lewis.
All right, see you later.
See you
Or
later.
you get trapped in. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucked in the vortex.
Yep.
That's it.
Well, yeah.
When
then
we
you
were
get
in
the other thing is you get-
Colorado,
Yeah.
when we were Willie B lives in Colorado, and he's a morning DJ on the rock station there.
I can
And
see that.
we're driving through Colorado, and these commercials are coming on the radio, and I'm like, damn, that sounds like Willie B. And then and I told Barb, I said, he lives here. So when we got into the hotel, I looked him up, and the station we were listening to is the station that he's the morning guy on. He's got a morning radio talk show and the whole deal. And I'm like, damn, I should have reached out to him sooner, because we didn't bother listening to the radio literally till like the last day that we were there. And I'm like, I should have reached out to Willie sooner, because we could have went to his house and took him to dinner or something.
Get into the
He's
studio.
awesome. Yeah, he's awesome. Willie's a great guy too.
You see that Charger
Yeah.
he's building?
Oh yeah. Did you see that he had a big fire at his house?
No, I did not.
Oh man, about 6-8 months ago, something happened and the whole garage burned down with cars in it and everything. Oh, my heart was falling out of my chest. I was felt so bad for the guy. But he's recovering from it and back to building. But it was a mess. Yeah, absolute mess. But yeah, he's up in the hills, and he's got property, and he's got like a barn and a whole bunch of stuff in there. And he's hardcore Mopar guy.
Yeah,
So
know he
I
likes his
respect him for
Charger.
that. That's cool.
Yeah, we gotta get him on the show so we can try to change him up.
Yeah.
Nah, you're not changing Willie B.
Nah,
Not happening.
Is he a musician?
I think he plays guitar.
Yeah, something like that. Because I thought he was in a rock band or something like that.
He may be. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm not sure on that one.
Well, gentlemen, on that note, I'm gonna hang up because I gotta actually eat a little dinner before I go to bed. It's so terrible. I shouldn't
You're
do
a little
it.
late, bro.
I was working on that car, man. I mean, like I just got in. I just told Louis Lee, I don't got the link. Send it to me. Let me say what's up to the fellas.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's good
But,
talking to you.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. You might see me out in SEMA. I don't know. I don't know.
You're going. Who are you?
I know I am. Yeah.
Get it together. You
I gotta
better.
get it
Let me
together.
tell you something. You're in for sticker shock if you think you're going to buy plane tickets now.
I got that covered.
Yeah.
I got that covered. I have a neighbor who gets plane tickets, and the wife she flies all over the place, and I can get. I have to go in a different name. I have to be like.
Go on.
You have to be like Waldo.
Or
Waldo
son.
Reese or something.
He walks up to the security guy and he asks for his ID and he hands him a thing that says he's Barack Obama.
Right.
What?
Yeah, just as long as it gets me on the plane.
Hey, at least he's the right color.
You had to go there.
No. My name, te llamo say Mario Mozzarella.
Or I might have to be driving out like Louis Lee.
Right. You
That's
hitch
a
the
long
ride.
drive.
You know, I'd get to Tennessee and I'd be like, I'm tapping out. I'm going back home. You know, I'll see Kevin Tetson and that's it. I'd be like, okay, that's it. I'm out.
That's a long
Later, Terry.
ride.
Yeah. Take care, gentlemen.
See
All right,
you, man.
Terry, take it easy.
Take care.
For real.
So, John, I did a little more looking into this intake manifold thing that I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And I actually pulled out a head and I said, I want to see the actual, because I never investigated that passage. And son of a, it goes right from the intake manifold. I shined a light in there and you can see it out on the exhaust valve side. So it is a direct right through the exhaust port. So if that thing had been sealed off 100%, you're getting an exhaust leak.
I know.
So this is that intake.
Yeah.
And if you see what's missing, it's this.
Sure.
This kind of comes around.
And that thing fits right inside.
Like that.
Yep. Yeah.
So you can take it out. And that's what I want to do.
And they have the gasket set, they have those ports that you block off, right?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about because I have to do that. But Edelbrock also makes these big aluminum lead wedges that you can you got to file them and shove them down into the head. But I'm saying, like, if that's not 100% sealed, you're going to have an exhaust leak right up at the top of the engine. It's going to sound like
yeah.
But I think
Is that aluminum heads? Aluminum heads?
No, they're cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're going to have to do what we talked about. You're going to have to put those slugs in as best you can.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to do that deal. You need that plate. You're going to have to make an aluminum plate or a steel plate with the 2 bolt holes. And that way, the gasket can seal stuff, and the plate keeps the gasket. Because if you don't have those bolts in there, that gasket's going to flop in the wind.
Yeah. So like even this is factory. The bolt that goes between here and the other piece of the intake, there's just a washer that there is no bolt hole in the intake because the piece is missing. So yeah, I can make a plate.
You actually have there's bolt holes in the head on either side of that exhaust.
Oh yeah,
port.
Yeah, the heads have it. But you know,
you could make up a nice plate that utilizes those holes.
And you know what I saved when I put headers on a car, I always cut the sections out, those big blank sections of metal. I always cut them out so the tubes can freely cool and heat. You know.
Sure.
I don't know. I've heard of other people who talk about it, but I'm the only person I ever saw who's done it. And on these headers on my car, they're hookers from the 70s, and they're 1/4-inch thick flanges. And I have the pieces that I cut out. I saved them. They're in my metal scrap box.
Yeah.
So I may be able to use those.
I do that a lot, and I noticed what we used to do is we used to run them through the bandsaw.
Yeah.
Or the chop saw, so we can
Right.
take out about 1/8 of an inch, and we would just cut the flange, boom, 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 in between ports, leave about an 1/8 inch gap, and that way
Yeah.
you can finagle them around when you go to put them on, and you never have to worry about them not sealing because you got
Right.
two bolts, and they work out perfect. And that's the way. The ones that I got for the Camaro from Lemons, they were actually all individual tubes.
Right.
He cuts the flange and then he gives you a slip collector.
Yeah.
So, because I know on the driver's side, the number 2 cylinder, it comes down and it goes around the motor mount, and runs between the motor mount and the oil pan.
Oh wow.
Above the cross member. Then it drops down and then it goes back and it goes into the collector.
Yeah.
That's the only way to put those with those. That was a tall deck motor.
Yeah.
With 2 3/8 primaries.
Right.
That was the only way to do that. And that's probably of all the headers I've ever used, Lemons has always been 100% right on the money.
Yeah.
They fit, without even you send the guy photos, and somehow they figure it out, But when I spoke to Lemon, he said that they had one of those Chris Alston chassis there.
Yeah.
And then, they've got small blocks. They've got SB2, the small block that's got the ports are all spaced out instead of Siamese.
Yeah.
Low deck, big block, tall deck, big block. He's got all the heads. What heads do you got? Airflow Research, Brodex 2, Big Brodies.
Right.
Those guys make the headers to fit whatever you have.
Yeah.
And he said, we've done that. Not a problem at all. He says, as long as you're using this particular oil pan, and I sent him a photo. He goes, yeah, fine. You won't have any trouble. And they built them, and it was 2 3/8 primaries down to a 3.5 inch slip collector. And he put the bung for the O2 sensor in. I mean, they were amazing. And then they did that ceramic coating.
Right.
Those were show car style headers,
Yeah.
Granted, they were a lot of money.
Yeah.
But you get what you pay for. And one of the things that they pride themselves on is not hiding the spark plug.
Okay.
You can literally get to every single plug, all 8 plugs on either side with your spark plug socket and either a 3-inch or a 5 or 6 inch extension.
That's great.
Yeah, never had a problem. When you go to put the plugs in, there's room for you to get your hand in there and get that thing started. So I was like, wow,
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I've seen a lot of headers in my day, and it's just unbelievable. I mean, I've had headers where we've had to drive the plug in by hand and then put a wrench underneath the
sure.
head.
I've had to do that a lot too.
Plug.
Yeah. Put a wrench on the socket. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So I can't believe that I couldn't convert this carburetor to an electric choke. I've done, every time I do this for somebody else, it works right out of the box, no problem. When I got to do one for me, no, it doesn't work. And I'm like,
and that's a Holly Holly spread bore?
Yeah, it's a 4165. It's a
and they don't
bore.
have a conversion for it?
There's the problem is the main body of the carburetor doesn't have the bosses that the choke housing screws onto, and then there's actually one
The
port.
electric part.
Well, there's an internal vacuum port, but you can use an external vacuum source, so that's not the issue. So you really can't even, because I have the choke conversion kit. I have a brand new one in the box. I was out there yesterday. You just can't mount it on that carburetor.
Is it based on the particular year carburetor that you have? That's the problem? Maybe later year has the bosses?
Well, this particular carburetor I have is a later one, and it was it was like a service carburetor. It was like a universal replacement for
what was the number?
It was a 6210.
Yeah, 62. That's what this is.
6210-3.
This is a 6210.
What choke is on it? Let me see the side, the right side. Yeah, it's a manifold. That's the same type of choke. That's exactly the choke I have on this one, but I want to convert.
This one, it's got a. What has it got? A 241 underneath of it.
Yeah, it might be a day code. But no, the thing is, and since I'm taking that heat riser out, I have to have an electric choke because I have nowhere to put a stove choke. You know, the divorce choke.
Who needs a choke?
I know I'm taking the heat riser out anyway, which is kind of a, up here that's almost stupid. But
just lock the linkage so that the choke flap is wide open all the time.
With
Give
the
a couple of pumps, fire.
Yeah,
right
with the electric choke, that would solve that.
Yeah.
And
I like the electric choke because you can loosen up those little screws.
Yeah.
You can rotate that little Bakelite thing.
Right.
And get it so it's the right amount to choke.
That really, what that does is it changes the amount of time, how long the choke stays on. But yeah, you can alter that.
Mm-hmm. That's always good.
You don't know what other number you need, right? Because I think I have another spread bore Holly.
I could look it up. I mean, it's kind of reverse engineering. They really, actually, hang on a sec.
Why don't you just lay out the long bucks and get a brand new spread bore? Has the electric choke on it already.
Yeah. Probably have more headaches though.
Why?
Huh? New? That means it never ever worked.
Never ever worked. Yeah.
and the new today is like a headache.
Yeah.
New from 20 years ago is completely different from new today.
I know.
New today, shit, half the stuff doesn't even fit. You know what I'm saying?
New today means it was made in
China. Well, let's see. I could go into this book here, which is the 4150 and 4160.
Ooh. He's
selection.
got all the stuff, all the toys.
Yeah. Then I have the Holly carburetor numerical listing book.
Jesus Christ, you're a freaking speed shop.
I got the performance catalog too. This is an older one, so I could probably look it up through here. But let's. Well,
see. let me look around the cave here because I might have another spread bore.
That the easiest way is if you have the number to look the number up. It's harder to go backwards. It really is not that easy.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Let me this weekend I got to do some spring cleaning.
All right.
Isn't a universal spread bore universal?
But it's in different years. Like this one I have and the one Brian has that anti-blowback protection for the power valve. The earlier ones don't have that. So that's nice to have in case
nice shirt, Kozali Racing.
And that's his
good guys. Yeah, he's a good guy.
I had him on the show. We had him on the show a few years ago.
This car's white now. Did you see it lately?
Oh no, I haven't.
Really good. Painted it white.
Yeah, good guys.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's see. So yeah, it's this is like this story. When I do stuff for other people, and it is what it is. It just goes off. I try and do something for myself, and I hit major roadblocks at every step of the way. It's like, what? Why? Am I unrealistic? I don't know.
A cable drive distributor?
I actually have one for a Chevy. Do you need one? Yeah. I got one.
No. I got one in this motor, which I'm never going to use. Okay. It's an MSD, and it's got the cable drive deal already on it, so you can run a cable tack.
I have an original
small.
I have an original Chevy tack drive distributor. It was in that big block in the Chevelle.
Yeah, which tells me that this motor that came with my Firebird was definitely a let's sweep the garage to grab up the parts we need.
Oh yeah.
Because when's the last time you saw an MSD with a tack drive on it?
Right. Yeah. True.
Flea market special.
Yeah. right? Well, I don't. I'm still waiting to find out what happened with this motor. Sooner or later, I'll open it up. I'm sure it's just a cam lobe that took a dive on it. Man, I saw a picture some guy built. It was like one of these engine pages on Facebook that I hang out on. Big block Chevy, and the guy had the manifold off, and every other push rod was like totally bent.
And there was a starter in there.
But the exhausts were all perfect.
Just on the intake, huh?
The guy put the wrong length. The guy was building a motor in his garage.
Oh, on a big block.
Yeah, on a big block.
He reversed the push rods.
Yeah, building it in his garage. And
Idiot.
then he gave it to an engine shop to dyno it. And they fired it up, and it all hell broke loose after it started.
Sure.
And they pulled the intake manifold off, and all 8 intake push rods were bent.
Yep.
And all the exhausts were good, and it turned out the guy put the push rods in the wrong way.
See, he would have failed the question of why do they call it a porcupine head? Because there's your definition right there.
I want to know, how did he lash the valves?
Yeah, right.
On the exhaust side.
The exhaust side, because they were too
such
short.
a short push rod.
He must have had those rockers all the way down. Yeah. Because they got to be at least an inch shorter.
I think, yeah, close to that. Like about 3/4 of an inch or something.
I got a set of them, but they're outside. They're in the garage. I do have a loose set of big block Chevy push rods, but they're not close to me here. Yeah,
Rank
that's a rookie mistake. That's
Total
a rookie mistake.
Yeah, he shimmed it out pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I just had a laugh. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. Horrible. People do some weird stuff to save a buck. Stupid.
Well, what I like is when they take it apart, right? They take it apart, and when they go put it back together, it's wrong. Then they, like you said, they shim it out, or they don't, they're like, well, why this wasn't like this, but I'm gonna make this work. It's like, just take a look.
People don't understand the phrase bag and tag.
Yeah, they never stop to think that if it was right before, how come it's not right now when you didn't really change anything?
Yeah. I still have, I got it from, I don't know if it was competition cams or crane cams. It was this tray made out of real heavy plastic.
Set on the tray, set on top of the carburetor.
No, this was just a plastic tray that I got that you would put on a workbench, but it had holes for all of your push rods. It was numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. So you had a place to put your lifters. You had a place to put your valve springs. You had a place to put your valves, and you had a place to put your push rods, and another place to put your rocker arms, all in this one tray. So as you would take the motor apart, you would put the parts where they belong based on each cylinder. Right. And then when you go to put it together, a monkey could do it.
Growing up poor, every motor I did, it was a shoebox that the push rods went in, just pumped holes in the top of it. I used to use like an egg carton for the lifters.
You know what we used to do? We used to go to 7-Eleven and go behind the store and
get the crates.
Steal the crates. I got crates that I stole here. We used to steal the soda bottle
crate
racks that
pistons.
hold the 2-liter bottles.
Yeah.
Because we were doing big blocks.
Right.
And you'd put them in there and boom, 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 and you'd have a rack to hold your pistons with your rod ready to go upside down.
Yeah.
Nice. I lost that somewhere in the move.
Yeah.
But I still have that tray someplace. I think it's at the other shop.
Yeah.
I never got rid of that. So when I take one of these big blocks apart, I'll have a place to put the stuff.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Funny stuff.
The best.
Oh. So Brian, what do you got going on this week? What's are you caught up yet?
It's been kind of quiet because of all the government talk about shutdown. So
well, that was today.
Yeah, well, they saw. I mean, they saw, but around here, when they about a week and a half out, when that time comes, because that's our biggest employer in this area. So everything stops because the shops become empty, everything, because those people aren't out spending money. So that's that's our biggest drive for our local economy. And
they
of
wait
course,
till the last minute every
yeah,
time.
well, of course, it really pisses me off it irritates me. Because, well, I'm not going to get paid. That's what they say. But of course, they all get reimbursed afterwards. It's not like they did not get paid at all.
Right. But they don't run to you to pay the tab.
Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, it's like, well, if you weren't living from paycheck to paycheck, and if you showed a little bit of responsibility and lived within your means, then you wouldn't have to worry about this going on. But of course, it's, I can't spend that money right now because I don't know if I'm going to get a paycheck.
Right.
But I don't, don't get me started. So
yeah, but if you're selling stuff to guys in dealerships, what's Washington got?
People aren't bringing their car in to get worked on, so the shops are empty.
Oh, I get it. So the shop is screwing the mechanics.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not getting paid. You don't get paid
like
unless
if you work at Ford, if you work at the local Ford dealership over on
right.
Fifth Avenue.
Okay, let's take my Lexus.
They're still
going
to be responsible for paying their mechanics and people.
They don't. No. It's flat rate. It's flat rate. If they don't have a job in there, they're not getting paid.
See, that's not right.
I mean, that's the life of a mechanic. That's what a lot of people don't understand. If you're flat rate,
wasn't like that when I was involved in dealership stuff. I was never a mechanic in a dealership, but I worked in a Ford dealership.
Most mechanics.
I worked in the prep department.
Yeah. But I mean, you had salary. You had guys that were salary, and they got paid, X amount of money an hour, and they worked that. And then you have your mechanics that were flat rate, and they got paid per job. Wow. And a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of these selfish shop owners that want to pay a guy, if they want to be salary, they pay the guy $1,000 a week and work him like a dog, and they make 4 times the amount of money, and the guy gets pissed off and say they want to be flat rate, which you get paid by the job, and then the guy starves them out and still controls his pay. So, but a majority of my dealerships or even independents are flat rate. You get paid by the job. So if there's no car, you ain't getting paid. So, and of course, you got the guy that works at the government, and he's like, oh my God, I'm not going to get a paycheck, or I'm not going to get paid. And then, of course, they go through, and like the time that they were shut down for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever it was, and nobody was making a paycheck. Of course, when they went back to work, they got paid for the time they missed, so they still got their money. Just don't.
But they didn't come running to you to give you what you were owed.
Yeah. So, like I said,
every year, that's Washington for you. Every single year, they wait till a week before the place is ready to shut down, and then it's all hell breaks loose, screaming and yelling, and what do?
Of course,
the debt ceiling.
Yeah.
Ceiling. You know what we need? Somehow, some way, I need to get my fat mouth in there right in front of Pelosi and the whole gang and tell them straight out on both sides. Learn how to balance a fucking checkbook.
Yeah, well.
Because you know what? If it was me that was making monopoly money, American Express and MasterCard, they'd shut you down. See ya. You got no money in the bank, you can't write checks because your bank's not going to let you keep bouncing checks.
Right.
So why can't the government be the same way?
Well,
they know they have an untapped source of income. They need it. They just ask for more. They'll still tax us on something else.
The Fed is buying up every single bond they can find. They're just buying up all this debt so that the Treasury can print monopoly money. And who suffers? Me and you.
Mm.
Yeah, you wait till next year's taxes for us small business guys, man.
I know.
It's not good. So
it's been a couple of days of some big laughing on my end, listening to the Democrats infighting and the far left psycho Middle Eastern nut jobs. If we don't get $5 trillion or whatever it is, $3.5 trillion, we're not going to say yes. We're not voting yes. They're holding ransom. And I'm like, yes, do it, do it, do it. Do not vote yes. I want to see the whole party implode.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh, Biden, he needs to get this. He needs to do it. And I'm like, no, you don't. That's funny. That's great. Yeah. You know, I'm like, what's her face? Cinema. She's not a happy Democrat. Joe Manchin, he's not a happy Democrat.
Oh, no, definitely
and
not.
he said they could do everything they want to do for $1.5 trillion.
Sure.
He's like, there's so much sausage, meat, and pork and fat in that thing. He says they could do it for $1.5 trillion. But I laugh because they're throwing around the word trillion.
Yeah.
They're so willing to spend trillions of dollars like we spend $5 bills.
Right.
And it's not their money. They don't give a shit because they all live up here.
Sure.
They're not affected by any of it. They're not affected by inflation. They're not affected by the taxes because you know they're always going to get their loopholes no matter what. Nothing affects the people that work in Washington, D.C., the bigwigs. It's a caste system. They are like the old kings and queens of England, and we are the serfs slopping up the shit in the street. You know? It's ridiculous. So, enough of that.
Yeah. So, hopefully next week it kind of picks back up a little bit. I don't know. Like I said, it's tough.
Well, they said they were voting tonight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it supposedly passed.
And
they extended.
that's what I heard.
It's extended till the December 13th or whatever.
Oh, so kicking the can down the road for a couple.
Yeah. They're just kicking it, and they'll do that. And like I said, it's, again, I just want a normal, whatever normal is, but I just want a normal work week. I'm
Brian, what we need to do is get the saw out and cut the hole so one side of the tool truck is tools and the other side could be like a food truck.
Tacos?
Yeah,
man,
so
I tell you.
When the week is bad, you just go to the other side and you say, would you like fries with that? And,
like fries.
Sell some brownies on the side.
Yeah, no, I think
for a while I was thinking about getting into a food truck with my daughter.
Uh-huh.
Grilled cheese.
We have one of those up here. We have a grilled cheese truck. It's crazy.
Awesome, because he makes all different kinds. So there's
with
a local guy. Yeah, he's got like Texas toast, real thick.
Oh yeah.
You're right, Justin. Tacos and torque wrenches right there, man.
Yeah, there you go.
John, I do a tri cheese. I do gotta have the Velveeta.
Yep.
I'll put some Swiss and I put mozzarella on there.
Yeah.
And I tell you, that thing is like what?
Exactly. I love nothing like a good grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
And this guy makes them. He's got different kinds of bread, and he's got he bakes the bread, and so he makes his own Texas toast, and they're like 1.25 inches thick.
Wow.
You use butter? I use mayonnaise.
Oh no,
mayonnaise is good. I love mayo on my grilled cheese.
That's what I grill it with is mayonnaise.
Yeah, he butters them up. He puts them on the grill and toasts it on there. Oh man, I make grilled cheese, here at the house. And Barb she'll put the butter in the pan, and then she puts the bread in. She toasts it, and then I slather on the mayo.
Okay.
And then put the cheese on, and then stick it in the microwave for like 15, 20 seconds till it melts.
Oh wow!
Mayonnaise on your grilled cheese is awesome.
Yeah, I've never done that.
She does the whole thing in the frying pan.
I do too. Like, that's how I do it.
You want to be the asshole and have butter and mayonnaise. She says so. Your arteries will just turn to fudge, and you'll die.
Right.
And I'll collect your $1 million life insurance policy, and I'll go find a 20-year-old, and it's all good. She's like, so go ahead, keep going.
Have another one.
Yeah. Yep. Have another 3.
Oh, yeah. I'm easy on the arteries because I leave the butter out. I just do the mayonnaise. So,
All right. I've
A lot
never.
of times I'll make them with mayo. I'll throw the bread in the toaster, get it toasting, and then I'll put the mayo on it, and then I put it in the microwave, melt it, quick and easy, grilled cheese, ready to go, done. But yeah, mayo's great on it.
yeah.
Hellman's, I like Hellman's, and then just recently, a few months ago, Barb picked up some mayonnaise that's very popular down here in the South for a company called Duke's. Yeah,
Yep.
Duke's mayo, and it tastes really good.
Yep.
It's
Duke
not
is
like
awesome.
Miracle. It's not like Miracle Whip,
No.
which I don't really like.
No.
Duke's is good. Duke's is like Hellman's with something else.
Yeah.
Do you have
good.
any? You have any idea how the mayonnaise thing started with grilled cheese? Because I've never had anything but butter up here.
Oh, I don't know. I've been doing mayo for years.
Yeah. Actually, when I was a little guy, and
when was that?
That was a long time ago.
Right.
And it was funny because for whatever reason, my mom wasn't there, and my dad said, "You want a grilled cheese sandwich?" And I said, "Yeah." Well, he got out and got the mayo and started doing it, and I was like, "That's not the way Mom does it." And he goes,
Right.
"Well, this is the way you'd make a grilled cheese sandwich."
Uh-huh.
And so, of course, years had gone by, and one day I was making grilled cheese for the girls. For whatever reason, that popped in my head, and I got the old mayo out and started doing it. And of course, everybody was like, "Man, this is an awesome sandwich. What did you do?" I said, I can't let out the secrets. And so now I get stuck making all the grilled cheese, and that's just it. I learned it from my dad.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna have to try it, even if it's a sacrificial sandwich. I'm gonna have to give it a shot.
you just want to use real mayonnaise, not anything diet.
No, I use Hellman's. I use regular Hellman's.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to make yourself a fast one, do it like I do. Throw it in the toaster, toast it up, then put the mayo on it, layer the cheese, throw it in the microwave 30 seconds or until it melts.
Yeah.
Slam it together and go.
Mayo on both sides, throw it on the grill, throw it in the skillet, throw the cheese on there, and flip it.
Try that.
It cooks a little faster with the mayo than versus butter.
Okay.
So just be careful.
So that's probably where John's method comes in better, because if it takes longer, that's a longer time for the cheese to melt. And and if you cook it with too high of a heat, then you burn it and the bread gets burned.
Yeah.
So that's that tender balance of heat and time.
So how I solve that, or how I do that, is I have my toaster oven on. My toaster oven's on. So when I'm going through the grilled cheese, I get the first one done, get the bread to exactly how I want it. I mean, golden brown type thing, and then I slide it through the toaster oven, and just let it sit. And then I start the second one, because I try, I don't rush them. I mean, I try to do 2 or 3 at one time, but it's just more of, I just do one at a time, and then I slide them through the toaster oven to finish melting the cheese. And then set them aside, let the cheese set up a little bit, and then cut them.
Mogambo frying pan.
Yeah, you see, I'm a purist. I do the whole thing from start to finish in the frying pan or on my flat
That's
pan.
what Barb does. She's able to do 2 of them at once.
Yeah.
I can do 2 at once, but it's just easier. For me, it's just I'm more like a short order cook. I got 6 or 7 small pans, frying pans that I have ready to go, and just load them up
in the air.
And I'm more of a short order cook.
Right.
Everybody tells me what they want. I got one that wants provolone. I got one that wants American cheese. I got one that wants cheddar. So,
You gotta get the mutts. Come on, you got to get the mutts in there. You're gonna love it.
I had tonight. I had tortellini. I had sausages, sweet sausages, spicy sausages, and Barb had that thing of polio.
Yeah.
With the mutts inside, it's sliced up.
Right.
A couple of them. Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah.
That was good good.
Yeah, we had these. Linda made these. It's like ziti noodles, but they're like half size, so they're shorter. And she mixed it up with some chicken, and there was some sausage, and it was in like almost like it was like a pink sauce, kind of like a vodka sauce.
I like
And,
vodka
and then
sauce.
she made this basket of garlic bread. I'm like, oh yeah, give me fucking garlic bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with real garlic. I mean, with like about 5 cloves of garlic on there, and just delicious.
Yeah. You know who has a good pre-made garlic bread? Celentano.
Oh yeah.
It's
Well,
like a
Texas
long
toast
loaf.
is also the Texas toast is good. I bought that. Remember Celentano? No, it wasn't Celentano. I remember when I worked at Dairy Barn. It was in a silver foil bag,
Yes, I
and
know
you
the one you're
just put
talking
the whole
about.
thing right in the oven. You know,
Yeah.
that might have been Celentano. Maybe
I
not.
don't know. No, Celentano's in that white plastic bag with the red and the green lettering on it.
Got to be red and green, of course. Come on.
Italian.
Hey, come on. Right.
So
Right.
it's always good. But yeah, the Texas toast, Barb buys that box of Texas toast,
The box of it, yes.
garlic Texas toast. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Throws
good
them in
stuff.
the toaster oven. That's good. And then they also have these ones. They're like little Italian bread bun things.
Okay.
Same company. They're like this big.
Okay.
And it's like the top of a loaf of Italian bread.
Right.
It's like taking a loaf of Italian bread, slice it in half, and then cut it into pieces about 4 or 5 inches long. And it's garlic. And she'll get those also. Throw those in the toaster oven. They're perfect.
For years, I've been driving people crazy at work because in the morning I'll come in, I'll make my coffee, and then in the toaster oven I'll bring like Italian bread and I'll butter it and I put like crushed garlic on it and garlic, the garlic and throw it in the toaster oven. And the way that the air picks up, they'll smell it on the first floor. People are like, what's going on up here? Like, who's cooking? Like, I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
All fun stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I know.
I'm
Oh look, man! I found this the other day, and I can't believe they made a die cast of it. That's for one reason, but it's from the Man with the Golden Gun.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
The AMC Hornet.
The Hornet, yeah.
Get out of here.
And that was a real stunt. They did that. Actually, did that.
Yeah.
For real.
So I was excited finding that.
That was the one they he drove into the hangar to put the big wing on it. All the
that was the Matador. The Matador.
That was a Matador, yeah.
Yeah, that was he was chasing that car. This is when he jumped in the showroom floor and I had that big sheriff.
Drove
and
he
jumps in the car, and of course they stopped when they were on the other side of the road. And that's when he backed up and he jumped the car. But that's when he went into the garage, and in that Matador, they put the wings on and he flew on out.
Goodnight was in the trunk.
Yeah, Goodnight was in the trunk.
But the Hornet, the cool thing about that Hornet was, even with the plaid interior, right off they had it on the dealer showroom, the car had a set of Full House of Craigers on it.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah.
And it's funny because you can't see, but in the die cast, it's got the plaid interior.
Yeah, oh, cool. That's nice.
I mean, it's that.
Right.
So,
does it have Craigers on it too?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I mean, the Johnny Lighton are really down to being
Johnny Lightning did a friend of mine's Corvette.
Yeah.
No, Camaro.
Yeah.
Tommy Vinciguerra. He had that pink Camaro that was an ISCA car. And Johnny Lightning saw him at the Chicago Auto Show and said, we want to do a die cast of this car. And they made a die cast of the car. He had to take it to a warehouse where they set up lights, and they had like a crew, and they took like 500,000 photographs from every angle, close-up detail shots, they basically blueprinted the car. They measured stuff and they took photos of everything.
I heard they made a white plastic grid and heated it in water and then shook it out and just laid it over the car.
Laid it over.
And then
That
they
would
came
be the
in
way
with
to
a
go.
scanner from BMW and just.
Yep.
I heard that. It was just a rumor. I don't know if it's true or not.
So they actually made a die cast of his car, and I'm like, wow,
That's
that
cool.
was really cool.
You know,
And
and
then,
that's why one of the coolest things I saw that I liked on TV was when Fast and Loud, when Rawlings, when they built that Corvette, they made the Corvette for Hot Wheels. They made
Yes.
that was a cool car.
Very cool car.
Very
I
nice.
got one of those the other day also, but
Did you?
you know, remember when I showed you the muscle
Muscle
this
Machine.
one, the muscle machine ones?
Yeah,
I finally got the rest of the set, and they had this is the first release, and one of them was a Mustang police car,
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the Fox body.
the Fox body.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a SVT. That's like on that one, and then the other one was a Cobra,
Okay.
Oh, cool.
and this is probably one of my favorites here. It's a 66 Dodge Charger,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. Nice.
and they did a Buick Grand National. The only thing I wish they did, I wish they had, you know, they do it with the motors hanging out. I wish they had a big old turbo hanging out in front of it.
That's what they should have done.
That
A big
would've
That's what they
small.
should have done with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they had a 66, 65, or no, I'm sorry. This is a 55 pickup truck, Chevy.
Right. Yeah, that's nice. Now, and where did you find all those, Brian?
Target. And this one was a GT350, the newer Mustang.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And so they have what's called a chase piece, and that's the they only make like usually it's less than 10% of the other ones, and this is a Target chase piece, and it's the red Mustang.
Oh,
See, up here in the corner, they have the MM. That's the chase.
right.
So this one, see how it has the 01. See, that's the one. This is the regular version, and then this would be the chase piece.
Right.
Oh, wow.
So most people ask guys like, Jesus, how much do you spend on tools in a year? So I got to ask you, how much do you spend on like model cars in a year?
We don't talk about stuff like that, right?
Well, they don't talk about tools either, but among friends you can, you know.
Not when we're being recorded.
That one is the record. You are close to Washington, aren't you? Must be in the airwaves.
Yeah. So, but I'm missing one more. They had these are the first three, and remember it was the Camaro and the 442.
Right.
That's cool.
And they have one more, and I can't remember what it was. I think it's I can't remember what it was.
The Bandit Trans Am.
Yeah.
No. So I haven't been able to find the third one of that. I was really surprised I was able to find the Edelbrock one. The Camaro usually is a hard piece to find.
That's funny that it's Vic Edelbrock's car.
Yeah.
Why not?
So, but back I got to get them out, but like I don't know who bought them. I think it was Jade. I think I don't know who bought the Muscle Machine, but they were like early 2000, and then they disappeared for a while. That's like the Camaro that you got, John, the big one. Remember the Mustang I showed you? They just, like I said, they just came back and started doing them again.
I was going to find that. I got a bunch of stuff in my office in the house. I forgot to pull that thing out.
Yeah.
I've never opened the box. still sealed.
Yeah, because
Not that
like I
it's
said,
worth anything.
because you know the only big one I had was the Mustang.
Yeah, that's
That
cool.
was-
Yeah, that is cool.
yeah. So, yeah, not bad. So that was all. That's the only excitement I had for the week. So,
All right. Well, that's good.
So
I had nothing but expenditures all week.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
tell me about it.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Spend. You know, they charged me $800 parts and labor to pull those I-beam arms
Right,
off
to the
that
van.
Ford van,
Wow.
press off that rubber bushing, and put a new one on and put it back together again and do a wheel alignment on it.
Wow.
Yeah, all you gotta do is, I mean, but those if they've never been done before, you had to just grind the rivets, right? Grind the rivets and pull off the back end.
I haven't looked at it at all. It's the truck is in Orlando. All I know is my guy says, "Hey, I got a squeak coming out of the passenger side front end." And he went under the truck, and you see that because like the Ford vans, they got like what do they call it? Like dual I-beam suspension,
Yeah, twin I-beam.
right? Twin I-beam, right? So the driver's side is anchored at the passenger side frame. And conversely, the other way, the passenger side wheel is anchored up at the frame on the driver's side. And there's like a big washer and a giant bushing that goes through a thing in the frame with a big giant nut on it. I don't know how it's attached at the other end by the control arm. I have no clue. The place that usually does my repair work said we don't have the special press that's needed to do that. So there's another real high quality repair company here in Florida called Christian Brothers. The shops are unbelievable. They're like show shops. The buildings are beautiful, beautiful brick buildings, nice trim, landscaping. Everybody looks immaculate. I mean, the places are like super high end. And I called them up and they're like, yeah, we could do it. No problem. Don't worry about it. Bring it here. So we brought it and they looked it over. They ordered the parts. Took all day to get it because like 4 of the suppliers didn't have them. They finally got them and then they did whatever they had to do. And then they put a wheel alignment on it and it was $800 and change.
Wow.
I was like,
Yeah.
ugh. And the guy goes, he says, you know, the lower ball joints on this thing are not in good shape. He says they're kind of loose. He says, and your tie rod ends aren't that great either.
There you go.
He's like, oh, you know, you're going to need to change that stuff out. And I'm like, all right, well, as soon as he said that, I'm saying to myself, hold on here.
Yeah.
Because that truck 2 years ago went to my local place.
Yeah, but it's all that stuff is garbage, dude. Ball joints are Ford's middle name. Trust me.
Yeah, but here's the deal. I had all that stuff changed. Okay?
Yeah.
Uppers and lowers, tie rod ends, the whole 9 yards on the front end, and a wheel alignment, and all new brakes, rotors and calipers and pads and the whole deal. And then the truck literally like 6 months later blew the motor. So I went out and bought another van, and that truck sat in my parking lot for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Until I decided I'm going to hire this other guy. So I sent the truck to the dude around the corner and said, put a junkyard motor in this thing for me. So those ball joints and tie rod ends have maybe 4,000 miles on them. How could they be bad?
I know, John, but it's very common on those things, dude. I can't tell you
4,000 miles.
I can't tell you how many. I can't tell you how many ball joint. I mean, those ball joints on those Fords, dude, are junk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's ridiculous.
It's China.
Well,
Yeah,
Matco does have a really cool ball joint press.
We
tool.
sure do.
Yeah, you do.
Ball joint press. I could do them myself.
That keeps coming
Yeah.
up in the feeds. Yeah, they're pushing that thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
See,
got
I
no
mean,
time.
I
got a
tell you,
car to
man.
build. I don't feel like getting underneath an old van and
Yeah.
doing that stuff.
I don't blame you.
They're junk, dude. I had to.
I mean, I don't want to mess with it
along
because
with
then I got to mess with compressing the coil spring and all.
Look,
I'm not into it. Let the mechanic do it.
just if I could show you, if I could go on to the other side of the garage and show you where I keep my oil filters.
Yeah.
Okay, where my oil filters and air filters and all my my maintenance stuff on my Fords. And if you look next to them, there are Moog suspension parts on the shelf ready for me to hang because I will tell you, I've had to put ball joints in my wife's excursion the night before she had to go to Florida.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So they're junk.
You know, speaking of air filters, I said, okay, I'm going to do the air filter and cabin filter on my FJ, on my wife's Cruise, and my daughter's RAV4. So, and I got an email from Rock Auto. They had some closeout stuff. So, it had a couple of the filters on closeout. And I go through the site and I get all the rest of them into the cart. And it came to like, $53. Said, okay, pull the trigger. Shipping, the cheapest shipping was like $38. I said, get the fuck, there's no way I'm going to give you $40 to ship $50 worth of filter. Fuck you. And I, boom, close the site. So I'm going to go to Walmart tomorrow and cruise their aisles and see what they don't have over there, those idiots.
Yeah, this whole shipping thing and the price has just I mean, I'm waiting for Mako to say we no longer will pay for shipping.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you got a carburetor that I could use, I may drive down and pick it up.
Yeah, I'll meet you in Delaware.
It can be cheaper. Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, it is absolutely insane.
Right.
How much I pay for my shipping.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Something's got to happen in this country. Everything is going in the wrong direction. And it's, it's just getting to be enough. Like, enough already,
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I tell you, man.
Got the sweet tea mixed up.
It's insane.
I got the cartridges loaded.
Yeah.
The cost, all that stuff, man.
I'm
crazy.
about ready to pull the trigger on a. I found some gun and bullet supply company.
Yeah.
And I can buy a crate of 9mm, 1,000 of them, for $360 shipped.
Wow. Yeah. Send the info out.
1,000 rounds. And I'm
I'll go. You are ready to go in?
Yeah, I'll do it. Sure.
Let's talk, John. I'm ready.
You got? I'll get you the
Come
info.
On.
Yeah.
I had a gun shop on my route. I used to stop in every Thursday and walk in and buy ammo.
Yeah.
I'd walk in and say, "What do you got today?" And they'd tell me because I have a various collection of stuff, and so I would always be able to walk in and leave with one or two.
They've got nice rifle bullets and all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I'll get the info from the site. I'll send it to you. I said to Barb, I said I'm gonna buy a wooden crate with 1,000 rounds in it for the handgun. And she's like, "What about mine? What about mine?" And then, but my wife's got a weird gun.
These are all silver bullets.
Silver bullets. Waiting for the werewolf.
Barb's got,
like
I don't know what she's got.
They used to sell us a TNT like this. It was their own bagged.
Yeah.
What's 380s?
Is that the next size down from a 9 to 380?
It's called the 9mm Kerrs. These are 38 wad cutters.
Because that's what Barb's got. These
These are
hers is-
38
I think
wad
she's got a
cutters.
380.
This is
Or is
I have about 500. Trying to think of what kind of bullets they are. They're the ones that when they hit, they like go
Hollow
real
point.
fat. Hollow
Well,
the hollow points.
no, I got
Yeah.
ones I got the ones better than that. I got the black talons. The ones
I
that
got
they
black
can.
talents.
That's what
The
I
cop,
got.
the cop killers.
Yeah. And I got those loaded in my 357 Magnum and my 44 Magnum. So can you imagine what that would do?
Okay,
But
Justin, take care.
This is
See
the
you-
perfect.
See you, Justin.
This is the perfect. I think the perfect home defense round because it's a 38 wad cutter. Put that in a 6-inch barrel 357. It shoots like a 22. It won't go through a wall and get somebody in the next room. And at the range, they go through the same hole in the target. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. Ooh, that's a banned item right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Even though it's for 22s, that's banned. I should have
Really?
even showed that.
Why? If you got it already, you can't. They can't do anything about it.
I hear they
You just
can.
can't buy them.
9mm Luger, Remingtons.
Yeah.
Ah! Oh, all the 22s just fell out. That's a mess. 38 specials. Pistoli cartridge. Oh, yeah, more 3. Which 380 does she have, John?
She's got a SIG.
Okay.
Is it a 357?
These are 380s.
Nah, I think it's a 380.
380 is a short 9. Yeah, I got a
Yes.
Smith and an AMT 380. You know,
Yeah.
the thing about those guns are they really make like a crack when they fire. It's got a real cracking sound. And that's not always the best gun for a woman because even though it's not a really big round, they can be a little
But the
nasty
gun,
to
the
shoot.
reason she got it, the gun is small.
They're all small, but they can be. That's what I mean. They can be nasty to shoot because it's a lot of energy going off in a small package.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for concealability and all, but they're not always the most tractable, especially if you're, unless you're very used to it. Because
I'm looking into getting I want to get a Glock.
I always called my 3s. I always said they were just kind of hyper because they have that real loud cracking sound and they're, I mean, it's better than nothing. Don't get me wrong, but I got a Smith with a.
This is my dad's 357 Magnum. This was his revolver during the Secret Service.
Now that's got a round butt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I had the 44 version of that. That was an FBI gun. It was a K frame, which was Smith's biggest frame, but it had a 3-inch barrel and a round butt for concealability.
Right.
And the thing weighed. It was freaking heavy as hell. I actually sold it to the kid whose father sold it to me. He says, "Listen, my son never gets his gun permit." He goes, "You got to promise me you'll sell him this gun." I'm like, "Okay." It's the only blue gun I had, so I got rid of it.
And then he had the 357 hollow point speed loaders.
Wow, yeah.
There you go.
Now, of course, in the service, they changed. They went to Glocks for a short time, and then they went to SIGs. And they told him that he had to carry a SIG. And he said, "I'm not carrying a SIG." So
Really?
my dad, old school, walking around like the new sheriff in town with his 357 Magnum. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was kind of funny. I got his SIG also. I mean, they issued him one,
Yeah.
but he
I got the
didn't
SIG,
carry.
the SIG that Barb bought for me, but I haven't even loaded it yet.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you, I'm reading that
Secret
Secret
sitting in the
Service
case
book.
for over a year.
It is. It's a great read. I wish they got more into like the armament and all, but they haven't so far.
Yeah.
But they're naming names that I got a feeling you would know.
Yeah.
Because it really starts from Kennedy and just goes up from there. So it's all the presidents from all lifetime.
Uh-huh.
But they get into the politics of the service and of course a lot of history, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
and basically what they learned from every event, from McGovern and and Reagan, and these guys they're very open about what they learned about their fallibility.
You believe they let that guy Hinckley go?
Yeah, he just got out.
What kind of shit is that?
Well,
I hope somebody takes him out.
I don't know. That's a topic. I mean, the guy
doesn't deserve it. He's guilty. He doesn't deserve to be walking around. I'm sorry.
Well, but he was in jail for like 25, almost 30 years. So then what's the problem? Well, but that's the question. So then what's the point? Then why have a jail sentence if it's like whenever a guy, I'm not advocating cop killing, not at all. I'm against it. But whenever a guy who was in jail for a crime where a cop was killed, and the guy goes to jail for a long time, as soon as he's coming up for parole, the families are always protesting it, and like he should be in jail for life. Like, but wait a minute, he didn't get a life sentence. He got 25 or to 30, whatever, and served out the sentence. So what's the point of having a justice system that's going to serve a sentence if it's never good enough? I don't know. There's got to be.
And it was that whole thing with him about insanity and not really being fit and the whole. And I'm like, okay, so you're gonna let this psycho, or was that a ploy to not get as many years? Let's claim he's a fucking idiot,
right?
And see what the judge does. You know what I'm saying? With guys like that,
I actually just read that section in that book. They covered that they covered Reagan, the Hinckley section, and where he said that of course he was to please Jodie Foster, but if you have a mental illness, that can be corrected, by medication and through therapy,
electroshock therapy,
whatever. There's a lot of ways of doing it. Or the justice system has to turn around and say, okay, if you kill, I mean, they have changed laws, but if you're going to kill a president or a cop, or now they have a law here in New York where if you shoot a first responder of any kind, the charges are a lot bigger. People should petition to have that done then, like give everybody a life sentence. This way there's no complaining,
Well, you got all the the libtards. We have too many people in prison. We imprison more people than in any other country. It shouldn't be. Let it go.
I mean, that's the thing, and I'm not advocating these guys should be on the street or that they're great people, but if you give him a sentence and he serves the sentence, what do you want him to do after that? I mean, the guy just served a sentence. I mean,
I get it.
Then just make the sentence a life sentence, or bring back the death penalty, and just execute.
Proof to me that the guy claims he's a psycho. Proof to me that he's no longer a psycho.
Yeah.
What did he? With age, he got wisdom.
Well, I guess they have to do that to the parole board. They like Manson could never get, every time he came to a parole, he went to the parole board and they just denied him. So obviously, he wasn't getting out.
He'll never get out. He'll die there.
Well, he did die.
Well,
he did.
Yeah.
He did die a couple years ago. Yeah.
Finally.
Berkowitz is still in for multiple life sentences. He'll never get out. He knows it. So you shot a president. Why didn't you go? Why didn't he get a life sentence? I mean, what's the difference in now you're like weighing the life, and how do you do that? How do you say one life is worth more than another? Or
right, that's true.
But we don't make the rules, so
no, we don't make the rules, and then the government doesn't follow them anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a little livid hearing what the head of the Department of Homeland Security said to the Border Patrol yesterday or today.
I might have missed that one. What'd they say?
That the only people you can deport now coming over the border illegally are people that we find out are legitimate, criminals or drug people. But if you're coming over the border, we can't hold them, and we can't send them back. So we got to just release them.
The other thing was that
what it is it's the right side, the left side of Congress standing up on a big giant platform with the biggest, loudest amplifier ever created in history, shouting at the rest of the world, come on down, because the doors are wide open.
The other
Basically,
thing is they had like 8,000 people in Del Rio, and we saw the pictures of the straw huts and this and that, and the next day it was cleaned.
Yeah,
Where'd they go?
They sent some of them back. They sent some of them to other facilities, and they sent a whopping total of loads of them just out.
Yeah, 8,000 people. That's a lot of people, man.
Here's what I don't understand, because people are sending out video and making reports that these illegal immigrants are being put on regular commercial airliners. They're flying all over the country. Okay. So, Peppermint Patty said, if you're an illegal immigrant, you don't fall under the COVID vaccination ruling. Because the guy from the news said, hey, employers are now forcing everybody to get vaccinated.
Right.
And you lose your job, or you can't get a job, or you can't do this, you can't do that. Got to get the vaccination. What are you doing about the people that are coming across the border illegally?
Right.
Peppermint Patty says, well, they're not part of that.
Yeah. They don't even
basically,
have...
she said, screw you.
Yeah.
You could be the filthiest, most disgusting thing to come up from Central America, full of every goddamn disease in the world, and you don't need to get vaccinated. And then we're going to, and now here's what I want to know. I got to show all kinds of information to get on a goddamn plane to fly to Vegas, to Colorado, to New York, wherever.
Right.
Okay. So these people aren't buying their tickets. The government is. So what happens? They take them to the airport, and they got a special line that they go through, that they don't go through the same shit that I got to go through. Got to stand in a machine like this and get scanned, scratch my fucking nuts, the whole deal. But they don't have to do that. They just get on the plane. So they're wearing a mask. Wow. Because the FAA says they gotta. They're not vaccinated. They got measles. They got everything that could be possibly wrong, because those countries are so third world, it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
And my government says, well, it's totally fine. Here's a ticket. Go to Pennsylvania.
Right.
Where has this country gone?
Yeah.
Rule number one, it's in the books. If you don't come through a port of entry, you're illegally entering the country.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you're committing a crime. Why is it that my border patrol can't just shoot these people as they come across the river? Because I say it every night. I tell Barb, shoot a couple of hundred of them, leave them to rot in the desert, they'll stop coming.
That's what the cartels do.
Yeah.
They leave the bodies behind.
Leave the body behind. They'll stop.
Yeah.
When is this president going to get on TV and go, I don't have room for you. I don't want to hear your story. As much as I love you, as much as this country is nothing but a bunch of mutts, we all came from somewhere else, but we all came through the right port.
Well, you won't hear that because they're not going to give them that cue card.
No, exactly. They don't follow their own laws. Why is it that all of these years, I don't care who was president, whether it was Republican or Democrat or independent or anything, they never did shit about the immigration problem in this country. It doesn't exist. They never think about it. It's not a problem. It has nothing to do with their world. So they don't do anything about that. Why can't this country, since, what's his name? Clinton. He was the last one that actually figured out how to balance the budget.
Yeah.
Okay? Why can't they do that? You get paid. Go to fucking work. Figure out how to balance the budget. Stop spending money on all this bullshit. No, they'll never do that. Why? Because it's all kickbacks that they're getting. Oh, yeah, my cousin. He works for this big corporation, and they need contracts to build highways. So let's throw, $60 million over there. And then my cousin's going to give me, $4 or $5 million under the table. It's nothing but graft.
Yeah.
It makes you sick. The way they throw numbers around, and who pays for it? They don't pay for it. We do.
That's right.
I don't know. This country, I'm telling you, maybe a couple of years after I die, I hope it fucking collapses. I don't give a shit. Let it collapse. Let them all find out, oh, we really screwed up. You know? Every day it gets worse and worse and worse. I don't understand it. How the hell could you be the most powerful country in the world, the best, you help everybody out, and you run the place like shit?
The worst thing is there's plenty of people in the government who know that and they believe that and think that way, yet they can't do anything about it because they're covering their own asses and their own projects and their own pork, and they got to just sit back and not say anything about it.
It's decades and decades and decades of corruption.
Yeah, it's a self-propagating system.
This stuff started long time ago, and it just keeps snowballing.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that old man Kennedy, the whiskey runner, wasn't doing dirty shit way back when.
Sure he was.
You know?
He was a bootlegger.
Before him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been going on forever, and it's never going to change. It's just not going to happen. And I don't know. Elections don't mean shit anymore.
Yeah.
They only have meaning to the party in power.
That's it. Oh.
Nuts. I think sooner or later, because the governor in Texas, he's been shouting and doing stuff. I think he's going to be the one to start the Civil War. He's going to say, I had enough. I have had enough. You cannot come into my border. This is my state. I'm the governor. This is my state. It's not Joe's state. It's my state. You ain't coming in.
Well, he kind of started that with his iron wall of SUV.
Yep.
That was nice.
Put the army there. Put the National Guard there with guns.
Yeah.
They'll stop coming in.
Oh yeah.
You got to show them enough force to stop them coming in.
Well, that's it. There's no show of anything.
No, they're not allowed.
Yeah.
I got a cousin that's a border patrol.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
What happens to that guy.
Yeah.
And they sit there. No.
Can't enforce
and they sit there.
The law, can't do his job.
They sit there and they're decked out Ford Explorer thing on the hill, and he goes, when they all come up over top of the hill and they stand there and there's hundreds and they all come running over to the border, and you're like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
And they just run right over. You catch one or two. They said that they catch them, take them, process them, put them on a bus, drive them back over. And they used to be like 5 miles over the border where they would drop them off.
Mm-hmm.
They now drive them 50 miles down.
Come back the next day.
And it's 2 days later, that same person is still coming.
Yeah.
See, I would be the dirty black sheep border patrol guy. I'd be the one that says, Sarge, I want to be the guy out in the wilderness, all the way out in no man's land, because then I would load up my SUV with submachine guns. When they come over that hill, it would be like a scene from a movie.
A scene from Rat Patrol.
There you go.
Rat Patrol, right?
Right.
Yeah, classic, huh?
Yeah.
Just mow them down right there. Done. Rot in the sun. Let the coyotes eat you.
Yeah.
See ya.
Oh, you want to talk about rotting in the sun? And we had Riley, my golden, had gotten a groundhog the other day.
Oh.
And got a groundhog, tore it up, and of course Jenny got it away from him, and she chucked it over the fence. Right? She just chucked it over in the fence in the front yard. Called me and told me I had this groundhog to take care of when I came home.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, hour and a half later, she calls me and she goes, "You won't believe what I just saw." And I was like, "What?" She goes, "Not one, but 2 bald eagles."
Really?
And I said, "Yeah, right. The little green Martians were, what? Like, we had 2 bald eagles." She goes, "I'm telling you, these things were huge, and they ate the fucking groundhog."
Right there, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm like, yeah. Okay, whatever you're smoking, save some for me when I get home, because So I get home. She shows me a picture. She snapped these pictures, and of course they're kind of blurry. It's like Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's kind of like, and of course the groundhog is like, there's nothing left. There's like the head and the spine, and then everything else is gone
Wow.
on this groundhog.
Clean.
So I'm like, of course, like poking the stick at the bear. I'm giving the wife a hard time about seeing the eagle,
Yeah.
So I'm out. I get the grill started up. I'm cooking, and I hear this. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's a fucking eagle flying over.
Wow.
And I'm like, it's like some episode, like at the, remember when the TV used to go off the air and they would have like the eagle flying and playing,
with
America the
flag in
Beautiful.
background.
Yeah. I'm like, holy shit. I can't believe this. It was like the craziest thing ever.
And
So
he's
I had to
circling
apologize to the
barbecue.
wife and said there really was an eagle.
He was like,
Smells
"Hey, what are you
that-
cooking,
smells
dude?"
that meat
Yeah.
from your barbecue. He's waiting, ready to dive in and grab.
Yeah, but I could not believe that. It's like,
You need a leather glove. You put
Yeah.
your arm out, and he'll come and
yeah, I
land
had to get one of my my welding gloves, right? And stand out there.
We have those. I'm pretty sure they're armadillos.
Uh-huh.
Those things that have that really hard, like.
Oh
kinda
yeah,
like
uh-huh.
shell skin.
Yeah.
And they live in all the woods around here. And they'll come out and maybe get hit by a car or something, and they wind up like belly up, and they bake in the sun, and they get like all bloated.
Yeah.
And then we have these freaking. It's so funny. Remember those vultures from the cartoons?
Yeah.
With the really
the turkey
stupid-looking necks, turkey
Yeah, the
buzzards.
turkey
They
buzzards.
fly,
Yeah.
they fly around here in circles, and then they come down. They're all black,
Yeah.
and they come down in like a freaking group, and they'll run out in the street. They'll like start picking at that thing and maybe drag it off to the side. And then when
Wow.
a car comes by, they all back up.
Yeah.
And after the car goes by, they come right back in. It's unreal. And there's like hundreds of them here.
Yeah.
You don't see them until there's something dead in the street.
Yeah.
And they come out of the woodwork,
We had a
These things will
we
lay
had
there
a-
in the sun and they get all bloated. Ugh,
yeah,
it's
we had a
disgusting.
deer. We had a deer that got hit out in my neighbor's yard,
Oh, man.
and this deer was standing out. I mean, the deer was there, and of course, it sat out in the sun and got all bloated. And this thing was like, it was just huge. And I said, I tell you, when that turkey buzzard pokes into that thing, you better stand back because, man, it's just going to blow. And the smell, So, of course, it never fails. It's always at about 3 a.m. at night, and all of a sudden, because you got the windows open or something, about 3:30 in the morning, you get that smell coming across because what that thing finally blew up, and it's like, oh God,
You'd wake up,
for the next
hell is that?
the next 3 days is a stench of death looming in the air, but
Yeah, unreal.
yeah, but that was
Boy, I'm really
incredible seeing the eagle.
I'm really glad I live in a civilized place. I don't have that stench of death coming through my windows.
Not for long. Once you move, that's how it'll be.
I got Roosevelt not too far, so it's always possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get huge, man, when they bake in that sun on a day where it's like 97 degrees and with the heat index at 115 because of the humidity, man, those
Yeah.
things swell up like you would not believe, man.
Disgusting.
And by the time you call the county or the state, well, we're a state road, so you got to call the state. You can't call the county. But if you call the state, and by the time they send something, the meat wagon out to get it, it has already there's nothing but, it's either already blown up and evaporated and, been eaten by everything. It's just a carcass, a skeleton, or, they just never come and get it.
Just call a local food truck.
Yeah.
Roadkill.
I was stopped one night. This is a long time ago. I was driving my Scout, my corn binder, and I was coming down the road, and a cop pulled me over, and pulls me over, walks up, and he goes, "Hey, I don't mean to scare you, but I just shot a deer. Do you want it?" Before and I was like, "No, it's okay, thanks." I guess because he saw me in the 4-wheel drive, in the old International, he thought probably I was some hunter or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck I want to do? Take a deer home and put it in the freezer,
Right.
But that was kind of funny. Yeah, I just shot one. We'll send but they send the county that comes out and gets them, and that's what they feed the jail cell. They feed, if it's fresh,
really?
they'll come and pick it up. Yeah, and they'll have deer or
know that.
venison. Yeah, but it's got to be fresh, So he goes, "Yeah, if you beat the meat wagon, you can get it before they do." I said, "Oh, thanks a lot, buddy. I got to get going."
Yeah.
Like I need a deer.
Right.
A dead one at that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He probably had to write up so much paperwork for letting a round go off. I couldn't believe he,
Yeah. For discharge,
for discharging his weapon. He probably had to go through so much legal bullshit to do that.
Why would he just shoot the deer? Maybe the deer got hit by a car and it just wasn't dead.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I hit one. I hit one night. It actually, his head stuck. I had the window down, and his head came into the car.
Wow.
He ran into the side of the car,
Oh.
and when the B pillar had hit his head, he had snotted. I mean, he was shooting snot all over me. It was all over the front of me. And of course, when his ass end came around, he hit the back of the car. He took the shit all over the place, So I pulled off to the side of the road, and he's sitting. He was still standing. I mean, he was still standing up. Well, this chick comes flying off the off 95, comes off the road in a caravan, and I mean, just plows right into this thing, hits it. I mean, just never even stop, man, and takes the deer out, right? And so she pulls off to the side of the road, and of course I run over to check on her. Well, I got all this deer snot, and I'm covered, and I'm soaking wet, right? And I come up and I said, "Are you okay?" She goes, "I didn't mean to hit you. I'm sorry," because I guess she saw she thought she hit me. I said, No, you hit that deer. And she goes, "Well, what the hell happened to you?" And I said, "Well, the deer hit me." I was like, "Fuck, man." Oh, God, did I stink, dude. That was like nasty.
Oh. Man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But man, those deers, I tell you, it takes you can hit them and they get up and walk away.
Yeah. Huh?
And I had that with a dog one time. I was going to school, had just put all new sheet metal, fenders, valance, a rear valance, the whole 9 yards. I had all the sheet metal on the Mustang, and I'm driving down the road, and there's this, I don't know what kind of dog it was. It was a pretty huge dog, and he's sitting at the side. He's sitting on the side of the road, and I'm like, "Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it!" The dog gets up and runs right out, and man, right over the dog. Even the shifter goes like this. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
oh man,
he rolls out from the back of the car, and I was like, oh my God, I killed this dog. I get out, the dog gets up and walks away.
Wow.
Wow.
Tore every piece of new sheet metal I had on the car, just mangled it from going underneath the car and coming out. The rear valance, everything was just mangled.
Oh,
I want to tell you something. Every day when I drove home, that dog would be sitting up on the porch of the house. All I wanted to do was drive right through that guy's yard and hit that dog again, dude. I was so mad.
Wow.
Oh,
holy shit. That's crazy.
yeah. So,
Yeah, sometimes they get away with it. I know me and my buddy Joe, we were out driving around and what was like the blizzard of 77 or something like that?
Yeah,
When was that big
yeah.
blizzard? Yeah.
Yep.
And he had a 73 Trans Am. It was a 455 Super Duty car. And we were up on Jericho
driving around in a
Turnpike.
blizzard? Are you
Yeah,
driving around in
driving
a blizzard?
Driving around a blizzard in a freaking Trans Am, two assholes. And we were looking for a bar that was open. And a dog ran out. I mean, and the snow was coming down, you know. This dog ran out, and we ran over him, and I mean, you felt him rolling under the car. And he locked up the brakes, and we jumped out of the car, and that dog was nowhere to be found.
Wow.
He rolled underneath the Firebird, and he skedaddled somewhere. We're like, all right, let's go find a bar. I was like, holy shit, I can't believe that. But, you know, I think it was like a German Shepherd or something. I don't recall it anymore. I mean, it was a long time ago. But it literally rolled underneath the car.
Yeah.
You know, as we
Like I
drove
said,
over,
the shifter went up. I mean, when that dog went under, I mean, the shifter went, I was like, oh my God, this dog. Oh, yeah, tore everything up. All that sheet metal. And it was all Ford. I bought it all from the Ford. Oh, you know, it was all. And back then, that was a lot of money, boy.
Yeah,
for a guy that
replacement stuff.
Yeah, all. And I just put the new for their GT tailpipe. You know, the tailpipes coming through the rear valance had all that stuff, dude. All that, and it ripped all that stuff off, dude. Nothing was straight. It was all mangled. So, but then every day I drove by and that stupid dog sat up there, and that guy, I just wanted to drive through that yard and run him over. So, oh well.
I got that wheel tub trimmed up and finished.
Nice.
And tomorrow I'm gonna do the other one. I got I don't know how long this cord is. I don't think you can see it. Let's see. You really can't see it. See, I got the cardboard on one side.
Oh, yeah.
And a tin on the other side. Oh, I could stretch it out a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
So that's in and fitted to the car with it's either touching the quarter panel or there's about a 1/16 of an inch gap, easily filled with whatever I'm using to glue. And then that side there, tomorrow. I got the cardboard cut out. I got to do some little additions here and there, some trim, and then put it onto the aluminum. And then cut it up. Hack and whack.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, guys, gotta get ready. Supposed to deliver a toolbox tomorrow.
Nice.
Oh, another one. Yeah, you did one last week too. That's good.
Yeah. And I got a used one in the backyard. I was supposed to load up tonight, but I don't know.
Right.
I don't have my truck is so crammed packed.
Right.
I don't know if I have room.
You got to make room for that food truck window, and you got to have a sink in there, and you're gonna have to have some prep area. You need stainless steel.
And
you know?
I keep saying that I could put the lift gate down, and then build temporary walls on the 3 sides.
Oh yeah,
And then I can just have like an extended back half of the truck. You know,
True.
another.
yeah.
I don't know what my lift gate is. I guess it's 6, 7 feet.
7 feet by it's the width of the truck is either going to be 98 or 102.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a good size. I mean, sometimes I wish. I don't know if you saw that video from Clay on that Pat guy's truck down in Hickory, North Carolina. I don't know if you saw. He posted it today on Instagram.
Oh, you know, I watched the video the other day from a guy, but I thought he was out in like Utah.
No.
Or Salt Lake. He was in Salt Lake, right? It was a guy out in Salt Lake.
Clay was down in Hickory, North Carolina, and there's Pat. I mean, what's that guy's name? Marlo, whatever.
Thomas Marlo.
No, he's got I don't know what it is. I know it's I think it's a. I don't know if it's a Peterbilt or. But man, that truck is immaculate. The guy's a really great guy. I've talked to him a handful of times. And God, I wish I had his discipline on keeping that truck clean. That truck is just unbelievable.
Yeah, the one he did a couple days ago out in Salt Lake, that guy was a real nice guy too. He was, and it was a nice truck. The thing was, and Clay even said, he goes, "Man, this truck is stocked like to the brim." He said, "This is beautiful."
Yeah, it's
plenty of blue ratchets.
Oh, that was the one in Hickory, North Carolina.
I could swear the guy said Salt Lake.
No,
because
that's that Marlo guy.
Okay,
that's
Marlo
that guy. He's got
Brando.
Yeah, he's got that guy. I tell you, somebody in I don't know which district was giving him a hard time, and he showed his numbers, and dude, that guy's, like I said, incredible. And the truck is just absolutely immaculate. I wish I had a quarter of his ability to keep it that clean.
Yeah.
I'm too busy turning stuff so fast. The stuff comes in boxes. I dump the box and it's going right back. I don't have time to, or make time. I shouldn't say I don't have time.
He must be single.
No, he's not single.
Oh.
He's just got the whole crew helping him, I guess.
Oh.
I mean, my truck looks 10 times better when the girls help me.
I'm looking. The one he did was 2 days ago. It was this guy, Tim Parsons, in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, he did another one. I thought it was today.
He did one today. Yeah. He did a Mac one, Mac breast cancer awareness box, and check out Mac Daddy's hunting rig, a Polaris Ranger. That was just 6 hours ago.
Yeah. No, he did. That was in Hickory, North Carolina.
Sometimes I see it shows up it'll show up in his feed, and sometimes it shows up in like just my home. Well, YouTube is weird where videos show up. They don't always show up where you would expect them to.
Yeah. No, this was on Instagram.
Okay, maybe he didn't post on YouTube yet. All right.
On Instagram, but
Instagrammy.
The old Insty.
Yeah, they're really beating Instagram up pretty hard now too, aren't they?
Yeah, they want to do the kids' Instagram.
Yeah, they want to.
Yeah.
Well, they're going after about causing. They were talking. They had the things about all the. What was it? Something like 12% of females from Britain were committed suicide or something like that.
Right.
And. Yeah, I tell you, man, we can't do anything without.
How did we grow up?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know how we grew up, or I don't know how we did anything.
I got a new
Because-
follower,
Oh yeah.
but it's kind of legit. It's
You got to
New
send me that
Arc.
girl.
New
Oh.
Arc Welding.
Okay.
NEWARC _
Well, you liked
welding.
it, Ray. I mean, you liked the post from Patrick. That's the guy's name.
So I saw it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Patrick Marlowe.
I guess I
He
just
was-
missed. I missed the detail of where he was.
Yeah, because he had 2 scanners on the truck, 4.0s. He had a whole bunch of ratchets hanging on the ceiling. He had a green 6S.
Okay.
Well, so I don't know if it'll show.
So, is there a way for me to send you her handle?
Oh yeah, look at that ceiling. You could cut and paste it. You could try and like copy it, or it's on Instagram, John.
Yeah.
So just go to the arrow thing at the bottom, and then
I'm
just
trying
send me.
Find one of her posts first.
Yeah, send me one of her posts, and I'll see it from there.
Yeah, so I mean, this was.
Yeah, I guess I don't remember seeing that specifically, but yeah, usually I like all the stuff he does because he's got the right attitude about. I stopped watching the Mac. I was watching the Mac videos, but I stopped. Well, first of all, I'm never going to see a Mac guy because we all know about that. I mean, and they got. I'm really intrigued by that RBRT line of tools they have. They look really cool, but I'm never going to own them, because man ain't coming. So, and the other thing is,
you had written a comment.
I usually do try to write a comment.
Yeah.
I try to be positive and at least.
Oh, you even say you're watching the Tim Parsons one, right? You told him that you were watching it right now.
That's right, because he sent me something right. That's what it was. And I remembered. I said, "Yeah, I was sitting in front of TV watching the Tim Parsons one." So I figured I'd catch that one later, but I never saw it. But no, the problem I have with the guys, even Macro Michael, and his and the Mac guy, they're just too Southern slow. Like the guys seem. I know it's just the way they talk, and it's just the way they're just kind of laid back. But to me, being from up, I guess maybe it's because I'm conditioned as a New Yorker. It's like if you want to do something, you're going to sell it. You make the sale, man. You punch it up. You got to be a little dynamic. You got to be interesting. You have to hold someone's attention. You have to have something that they want to see. And when these guys come out and just do that real slow Southern thing, it tells me like, and I know it's not the case, but it in my brain, it registers of like, you don't give a shit. You're just like going through the motions. And I know that's not true, but it doesn't hold my attention. There's no, like Clay has some animation to him, but even he comes down with those guys. And I'm like, at least when he has, the other guy, the Snap-on guy, Hamilton, he's always laughing and joking and, and making, he's always laughing. So, his personality is a little more bubbly, so he's easy to watch.
Yeah.
Because, so that's just me. That everybody interprets stuff differently, and those are my filters. I'd watch the Maco Man videos every day if they were on, man. Are you kidding me? That'd be one of my favorites, but Maco Man ain't coming, so I can't watch the video.
I just figured out how to send it to you. I sent you this.
Okay. Oh, the file. Okay, good. Thank you. I'll see if I can get her on a radio show.
Yeah.
I gotta see if I can get that guy.
I hit that little thing that looks like a paper airplane.
Yeah, that's the one. Right, the arrow thing. Right.
And then your name was
and
up
then
on
find
there.
me and just say send. Now you can write a comment in the top if you want, and then you can send. And you can send it to, if you can send it to multiple people. You can hit send, and then at the bottom you hit done, and it'll send it to, like that drummer, that kid I showed. That drummer I sent it to you and Terry.
Yeah.
That kid was amazing. This little black kid, Brian, was drumming like.
Oh, it's unbelievable. He was crazy.
But it goes to show you. It's like they say, dance like no one's watching. That kid was just sitting there banging away and just like he didn't care what anybody thought. So he was just having a ball. I can't do that.
I like
I'm
that.
too self-conscious.
ride that he had there.
Yeah. His
I
foot
noticed that
barely
right
hit
off
the
the bat.
pedal. His foot
Yeah.
was barely hitting the foot pedal.
It's funny.
Now that's good.
Ted was good.
I was going to make a comment like to Terrace. What was this? Hey, look, I found your grade school video.
Wow, Steve Dulcius built a really nice shop.
Yeah,
That's a
nice.
Beautiful shop. Big.
I see that Lucky is back, and he's been putting videos up, putting a lot of content up on Instagram. He's making up for lost time.
I like Lucky.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. Shagalak
Right.
made a post.
Oh man.
I know. Yeah, it's time to get out of here. I got to go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.